Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Schoolstone. I am your host, Marty B, and joining me is Jailstorm
Hey
and
guys, good morning.
6J.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, so today is going to be a bit different for Schoolstone, really. We have two matches as usual, but for that though, we're going to have a half hour dedicated to the Wild Conquest series. So it should be very exciting. Should have a lot of info for everyone. And yeah, you guys ready to get into it?
Yeah,
Let's
Okay,
get started.
let's do it. We will cover the matches later. You guys see here matches on screen, but we will be more in depth with that in just a bit. First, though, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I have something. Jade Druid.
Sure.
Is Jade Druid the real thing?
it's made a comeback quite a bit in this Dark Moon races. The Oaken Summons package is still just so strong against aggro, so it's a pretty prominent deck.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it wasn't really around during the dark, like prior to the mini set being released, and then Jay, I think it was your team, everyone's winner, where four of you guys brought it, and everyone has really since followed suit, I'd say.
Mhm. Yep, I think our team just brought Jade Druid in part to shake things up, bring something different, and that ended up working well into a lot of your team's Odd Warriors. But in general, I think just with, say, Nitro Boost Poison making aggro rogue archetypes a lot stronger, I think Jade Druid has really good potential as a counter to some of the aggression we're seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, before Dark Moon Fair, the three tier 1 decks were the Reno Priest, the Secret Mage, and the Dark Lair Warlock. And the Jade Druid had a decent matchup against the Secret, um, but it fell pretty hard to both the Reno Priest and the Dark Lair, so it wasn't really popular until the Rise of Rogue happened.
yeah, it's interesting because last expansion during the last season, we found that Jade Druid was more a niche kind of deck where it was just strictly anti-aggro. It was like Odd Warrior light. So if you were going to bring
Mhm.
Odd Warrior, odds are you were also bringing Jade Druid alongside it. But you never really used it as a normal deck. But it seems like more and more people are trying to branch out a little bit. I don't know if it's right. And it's especially unusual because, people were saying that Jade Druid wasn't really as defensive or as good against aggro decks as it used to be. But it, given the popularity, it's hard to say that's still the case.
I mean,
Yeah, Spreading Plague is still such a great card. It's always been against aggro, just setting up the 1/5 Scarab's taunt.
And then one other card I want to draw attention to from Dark Moon Fair that I think really changed Jade Druid is Solar Flare. Just having the ability to gain 24 armor off branching paths, to gain, say, 20, draw 2
Oh,
off
Solar
Ferocious Howl,
Eclipse.
or even just try to Milla control decks win condition with Naturalize.
Yeah,
I
Solar
think that
Eclipse.
makes
So,
Jade Druid stronger into some of the matchups that were previously close to unwinnable.
right, Solar Eclipse does offer like a lot of different options now in terms of how to play out certain matchups. Like you mentioned, the milling aspect against control or just armoring up. It's basically double Reno in Jade Druid now. You're gaining 30 armor by turn 6. You're not healing, you are adding health to yourself, which I don't think any other class, even Warrior, can do.
Yeah, the 6 mana Reno minus the body. Two of those in the deck is pretty strong. So
Absolutely. I think it
um,
puts a lot of pressure on, say, priest players in particular to try to come up with the damage with a really good, say, spawn seance turn, or maybe try to get 2 or 3 pen flingers to try to get through that damage, especially with the Malfurion offering the extra 3 armor a turn.
Absolutely. It's just very difficult to see how something like this could have just doubled in popularity only because of a few changes in a mini set, especially in such an eternal format with such a large card pool.
yeah,
So,
especially in the Conquest format, though. Jade Druid, we see a lot of times it's brought in the lineup to counter specifically the rogues. Um, just because the taunts and the heal, it makes it very tough for the Kingsbane and the Odd Rogue to close out the game. So I think that's a main reason why it's risen in popularity. It's also in direct correlation to the rise of the rogues.
Yeah, I think there's also something else to note. No one has really settled on a win con for this deck outside of the single Jade idol, which is why
Yeah.
the Jade nomenclature is a bit misleading. I don't know. What do you guys think people are going to end up settling on if they settle on anything, really?
I mean, against say a lot of decks, other than say the really strong control, really hard control, like say Reno Lock or Dead Man's Hand Warrior, I think Ysera does the job pretty well. It just puts lots of stats on board to contest aggro and help close things out. And for
Yeah, that's
attack,
one of the. Sorry, go ahead.
for attack just means Anduin doesn't kill it.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons Jade Druid is not super popular. It's just because against the higher value decks, and the Renos especially, it doesn't have enough value, and it just gets either outpaced or beaten on board. So
Yeah, that's kind of why I brought up the question, though, because, you have both Yogg Sarons that are available to this deck, and you even have clowns, with stuff like Kuhn the Forgotten King. You can corrupt Carnival Clown and play it on the same turn. So
hmm
there are ways to build boards. It's just that no one has really seemed to settled in on one option.
yeah, well, the
So
Jade Druid is more the it's like heavy control Druid. While we do have the more combo variants of Druid like Togwaggle Druid, Malagos Druid, which has
right,
a large number of similar cards.
which is why you want to go for some of those late game bombs, and why, with all these options, you take into account what might be better. We've seen all different kinds on ladder, and there have been several different builds within THL as well. We've seen, curves top out as low as 7, which is
hmm
ridiculous for a deck like Control Druid, where, Ultimate Infestation is sometimes considered a staple.
Yeah, no, it used to be before Fungal Fortunes not replaced it, but gave it another substitution.
Yeah, 6J, I know your team brought one of those lower curve versions of this deck. How do you feel?
For me, honestly, I don't have too much experience with Jade Druid, so I'm not sure if my thoughts are going to be the most meaningful. But I mean, I just think you probably aren't going to win against Reno Lock or Dead Man's Hand or some of those really late game control decks. So I think just prioritizing maybe beating aggro and then potentially having the ability to just drop maybe a Sarah might be enough for a lot for the purposes of conquest.
Totally fair. Oh,
Yeah, I've played quite a bit of Jade Druid, especially that list that only that tops out at 7 mana. Um, you just so committed to the anti-aggro strategy. So when you play against aggro, it feels pretty good, but playing against anything else feels a little bit uh, too disadvantageous.
oh. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this deck lines up, especially into playoffs and even as far as into the next season. So let's keep an eye on it. In the meantime, though,
Yeah.
we do have a lot to talk about. So I have another question to bring up: the rise of Odd Rogue. So before Dark Moon races, Odd Rogue was not popular at all. We have a chart right on the screen right now showing how popularity within the Rogue class was, according to Brings. We mostly have Kingsbane. That popularity increased as the weeks went on. More people would turn to Rogue overall. And we see Odd Rogue kind of just hanging around a little bit in the first few weeks. Then Dark Moon Races drops, and Odd Rogue has just been getting more and more popular since, even eclipsing Kingsbane Rogue this week.
Yeah, before Dark Moon Races, I think the community consensus was that the Kingsbane list was generally better than the Odd Rogue in terms of overall power and being able to close out games. But with the addition of the Nitro Boost Poison, the consistency of the Odd Rogue is pushed up quite a bit and actually contests the Kingsbane and could be better, could be not. We'll just have to see as time goes on.
Mhm. And I think particularly with, say, Glacial Shard or even Frozen Shadow Weaver tech, Odd Rogue can do reasonably well and really short up matches into Kingsbane and potentially Dark Lair too if you can just freeze a giant early on.
Yeah,
Yeah, there is a lot of freeze tech and other rogue tech in the in other decks.
I think people are waking up to Odd Rogue's flexibility. Really, it doesn't have the same longevity as Kingsbane, which is basically your anti-control aggro deck. But seeing Odd Rogue doing well even against lower decks says a lot about its power level right now.
Honestly, it's just really consistent. I think people don't think as much about, say, Vulpiratoxin Blade Nitro Boost Poison as more flashy than a 15 attack Kingsbane or Dark Lair dropping 3 giants by turn 4, but Hud Rogue just gets the job done. It has the damage, it has the consistency, and it can just take down a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it is worth noting in the perfect game between Odd Rogue and Kingsbane, the high roll by Kingsbane does beat the Odd Rogue, right?
it
Is
really
that true?
depends because you can high roll both ways. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a much closer match than you'd think. For example, I know several players who have had 8 attack plus kings or weapons as Odd Rogue by turn 5, and they
Wow.
were
No,
presenting
that's
lethal.
yeah. No, I might just be mistaken on that then.
I mean, you are right where like Kingsbane Rogue has these big swings,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be very difficult for Odd Rogue to compete with. But Odd Rogue has the consistency where if the Kingsbane can't get that big swing turn in,
Mm-hmm.
then
The consistency of the Odd Rogue just takes over, and it pushes board, and it starts to close out the game that way.
exactly.
So the
Gotcha.
pressure is really on Kingsbane in that matchup to come up with a high roll to contest what everybody knows Odd Rogue is going to do.
Exactly. And that's where the challenge comes in to see whether someone wants to sacrifice that consistency for the bigger weapon to win those slower matchups, say against, Reno Priest or even Odd Warrior, because Odd Warrior without the techs has a hard time against Kingsbane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just because the Kingsbane weapon buffed over and over, it starts to outpace the armor gain of the Odd Warrior.
Right. So
Um,
very difficult to tell. With that in mind, though, like, do you think it really took Nitro Boost Poison to bring Odd Rogue to the power level it is now, or was it just underrated before?
well, I think the Nitro Boost Poison, when you think about cutting class and secret passage, for Odd Rogue specifically, cutting class is 0 when you have your weapon that's either buffed by a Buccaneer and a Deadly Poison, or a Deadly Poison and a Nitro Boost, or some combination of these weapon buffs, with the Toxin Blade as well. Um, so I think the Nitro Boost Poison definitely pushed that package a little better to where the Odd Rogue could run it. The Kingsbane definitely, it flowed better in the Kingsbane because you had much more weapon buffs. So I think the increased weapon buffs might have pushed it over the edge.
Jay?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think just having Nitro Boost Poison allowed people to focus a bit more on weapon buffs, say maybe with Deadly Poison helping to make cutting class more with even Deadly Deadly Poison to help make cutting class more consistent. Just focusing on that aggression and having the ability to get 4 attack for one, just the unnerved cold blood, is really impressive. I do think at least Nitro Boost Poison made people experiment more with Odd Rogue, try to optimize the list, so it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think so. There was an explanation Mimnark has given me in the past that Kingsbane Rogue and Odd Rogue are kind of at odds with each other, where the players will only turn to one and not the other if one of those archetypes is just slightly better. So prior to Dark Moon Races, you can say Kingsbane Rogue was only slightly better than Odd Rogue. But because it was only slightly better, everyone turned to Kingsbane. And then Odd Rogue was ignored. Yeah, you see this on ladder a lot too. But particularly in Conquest, it shows as well. And so now with Odd Rogue getting slightly better or being equal to Kingsbane, we're seeing that internal shift, both on ladder and within Conquest.
Yeah, that might also just be a response to the number of Kingsbane techs that are in the meta right now. Kobold Sticky Fingers specifically is in a number of control decks and can just steal the game by stealing Kingsbane.
Yeah,
so Odd Rogue definitely plays around that.
You're definitely opening yourself up to fewer techs and ways to lose that way. So could play a role. I think I do have another one though for us. So Secret Mage. Secret Mage is in a weird spot. Is it declining?
Well, Secret Mage used to be the most popular deck by a wide margin, right?
Yeah, so Secret Mage, it was by far the most popular deck week 1, right? And since then, it's kind of been declining a little bit. So we started with like 40 plus brings per week. And then Dark Moon Races dropped. And since then, it's been slowly declining in levels, hitting below 30 brings this week, which is easily the lowest it's seen all season long.
Yeah, and that's particularly interesting in this Conquest format because I think Secret Mage also has, it's banned out a majority of the time as well.
Early on, it was definitely banned a lot, but we're seeing fewer bans as time goes on as well.
Part of it may just be that people are better at playing around Secret Mage. They know when to try to stop Rig Fair Game from going off, when they can afford to maybe go for their own power turns and let Rig Fair Game happen. And just being used to it, I think, gives players a lot more defensive options and ways to think about counterplay. Just knowing what they're going to do on each turn makes it much easier to fight back and try to set up counters for their swing turns.
Yeah, well, win rates against any deck increase with matchup experience. And given that the popularity of Secret Mage was super high in the past, this could just be a product of that. So
Part of it may also be, I guess, people just designing lineups around either banning Secret Mage or just beating it. I know that there have been a few weeks in my team where
I think you cut out.
yeah, same for me.
Yeah, all good. I wanted to mention though, with the decline of Secret Mage, Mage as a whole hasn't really declined too much. Yes, this week was the lowest number of brings for Mage, but those brings were like the number of brings was not as low as Secret Mage's brings were. So there are other Mage archetypes being brought over that. Now, interesting.
And it's important to note in this Conquest format too, there's been a lot of techs against Secret Mage too. I remember there was one week where there were just a number of players being in control lists with Chief Inspectors and other secret tech like Kazan Mystic, the Eater of Secrets.
Shout out
become
Pasca.
pretty prominent in the Conquest.
I just want to shout out Pasca for his anti-Secret Mage even hunter that lost to Secret Mage on turn 6, despite it having like 6 techs. Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, no, and it's important to note the techs for this deck, they don't automatically win the matchup like in Kingsbane. A lot of the times when you destroy your opponent's secrets, you don't swing the board at all. So you kind of open yourself up to be killed on board.
Right. So it is a risk. But yeah, the thing is, it's not just normal Secret Mage we're seeing this decline either. We see it with Reno Secret Mage too. just after Dark Moon Races, its popularity was cut in half.
Interesting.
So it just feels like people are leaning away from this deck more and more as the weeks go on, and I wouldn't be surprised if in playoffs it reached like under half in terms of popularity. We might not even see this deck in the finals.
Yeah, possibly. We've still got a number of weeks to play though, so the meta could shift quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, do you have any other
Uh,
comments?
Um, I think I disconnected for a little while, but for the playoffs in particular, I think really a lot of the players in the playoffs might have known each other from either their other THL matchups or some other ways in the Wild Hearthstone community. So I think playoffs are going to be a lot more about counterpicking and planning that out. I think we'll just have to see in a few weeks how everything shakes out.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a mind game. So we shall see.
Yeah, no, it's important to note that all of these statistics are kind of biased by the format of open deck lists for this Wild series. If it was closed, we might see a lot more aggro or something like that, but I'm really not sure.
Yeah. So we have time for one or two more questions before our matches. So next up, I want to talk about Warlock's development. Okay. Particularly Reno Warlock and Dark Lair Warlock. Okay, so Dark Lair Warlock last season was the best deck. We all thought after the nerf that it was dead, and it just wasn't true. The deck was still insane. Okay, people stopped bringing it for a while, but we all realized eventually, deck's nuts, bring it regardless. Okay. And you would think the same because that carried on into this season. But it seems like with the release of Dark Moon Races, people kind of started to shy away from Dark Lair. And it's even the second most popular deck for Warlock now, with Reno Lock eclipsing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Darkler used to be a very powerful deck when Darkler gave back 2 mana, the nerf to 1 mana now. The deck is still very strong, cheating out giants on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, closing out games with Lotheb. This definitely is a combo deck. With Backfire, and most lists run 2 Mortal Coils, with all the draw packages that the deck has, you usually get through most of your deck by like turn 7, turn 8. So you can reliably get the Giants and Lotheb combo, which is very powerful against the control decks.
I think the question more was why people might be turning away from it. I think we all do believe Dark Lair is still a powerful deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that some people tend to be picking Reno Warlock over Dark Lair now. Could this be because there's more counters to Dark Lair? There's been a change in the meta. Is there a reason to run Reno Warlock now? Is Reno Warlock maybe overrated and just played because people like the agency it gives players, or is something actually there that makes Reno Warlock a better bring?
Honestly, I think Hysteria and Backfire are really, really strong in Reno Warlock. I think Hysteria in particular shores up the Reno versus Dark Lair matchup and gives them a way to pretty easily take out 1 or 2 giants in those early pre-Lotheb boards. And Backfire just allows Reno Lock to cycle way more towards, say, Ticketus to mill controller combo decks win conditions, maybe Dirty Rat, or just Reno against aggro. Just having these
Yeah,
more lower to the ground variants really make Reno Lock stronger, in my opinion.
I kind of view Reno Lock today as like a Reno Priest of the past almost, because Reno Priest used to be just the general deck you'd kind of take the ladder, and you'd have a pretty good matchup against whatever you'd face. And I think this Reno Warlock list is kind of the same. You have the Backfire and the Hysteria, but you also have a lot of 1-drops with the Glacial Shards, the Mistress of Mixtures, and the Armor Vendor. And it allows you to kind of pace through your deck pretty quickly and have enough answers to beat out most decks.
Well, that's the thing, because Reno Warlock is one of the most varied decks in the format right now. We see builds that focus on the Ticketus brand win condition, and then there's others that go for Willow and Bloodweaver Gul'dan and even N'Zoth instead. So they just try to win on board swings and value rather than disruption and milling.
Hmm. Yeah, it is interesting to see how Ticketus has kind of replaced Wizard Finley or substituted for Wizard Finley. Um, and that might just be it's a more general win condition because the Wizard Finley is great against the Reno Priest matchup, but it's pretty bad against most other decks.
Yeah, it's really curious to see how things have changed over time where people are trying to make this as low to the ground as possible, which has never really been Reno Warlock's bread and butter.
Hmm. Yeah, no, we've seen Reno Warlock in the past put out a lot more big demon packages. It does have the Void Caller and the Void Lord and the Enhanced Dreadlord. But we used to see, I think, Skull in some Reno lists too. That used to be pretty standard.
Mhm.
Yeah, we used to see a bunch of mid-range taunts too, with things like Sludge Belcher, which has been cut. Some people even
Oh yeah,
ran.
they cut the N'Zoth package. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of them have cut the N'Zoth package, and some even used to run anti-Keelbot, but we don't really see that too often anymore.
Right. I mean, I think just the lower to the ground curve allows it to contest aggro a bit better. Armor Bender is a really good one drop to say contest rogues 2/1s while still putting up a defensive stat
Yeah,
line and armor.
it's kind of difficult to design a deck that beats aggro pretty reliably, but also has a good chance against the combo decks. But I think this Reno Warlock has struck a pretty great balance.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
think with Reno Warlock, there aren't really many auto lose matchups. I think that may be why a lot of people are bringing it, just the versatility. Whereas Dark Lair may be really strong in a vacuum, just having the ability to handle just about whatever is coming and having the game in your hands to some extent might make a lot of players prefer that over Dark Lair.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. So, all right, we have time for one more topic, I believe. Now, do you guys have a preference? We have two.
I'd love to talk about Milroad.
Bill Rogue.
Same here.
Rogue. Man, you guys are both degenerates.
Yeah, this is a very interesting deck that we've seen pop up with Darkmoon races. Um, this rogue deck specifically has 5 like pseudo ice blocks with 2 of the evasions, 2 of the Cloak of Shadows, and Valera. Um, so it has a decent amount of survivability with the draw as well. It's pretty great into Priest and Arena lock. Um, but against aggro, it struggles a lot because it doesn't have tools for removal or board control.
So, aggro is a funny thing with this deck because I know people who haven't auto lost to aggro
Yeah,
recently
no,
with
it's
it.
not an auto loss.
Like, the
But
thing is, I feel like it's one of the lesser represented decks because of the nature of Rogue right now. But it's interesting to see because, like, this is the first time we've seen Milrogue have a chance as more than just a counter lineup deck, which is why I wanted to talk about it in the first place, really, or why it was one of the topics this week.
yeah, what do you mean?
So, usually Milrogue is one of those decks that get brought maybe 4 or 5 times in a given week, and there's a lot of ebbing and flowing in terms of its popularity because it's mainly used to target certain lineups, right? But now we've reached a point where Milrogue is winning matchups where you wouldn't have expected it to win before. For example, against Darkglare, it's favored.
I mean,
Is
Which,
that really true?
Dark
yeah,
Lair just Darkler just draws through most of its deck for you. So I think if you can just maybe set an evasion down before the Loatheb turn and brand Cold Light, you are in a pretty good spot.
yeah, it's a very unusual and nuanced matchup. So those positive matchups now actually make the deck more viable than it ever has been. And one has to wonder, like, are we going to see it increase in popularity given that? We've seen plenty of people meme and bring worse decks, so why not bring an actual not so meme deck, Mill Rogue, have a chance to win a bad matchup if you know how to pilot it right, and auto win certain slower matchups.
Yeah, I think in the Conquest format it really shines just because most deck lists of 4 decks run either 1 or 2 control lists. So Milrogue is it's great against those. On ladder though, I feel like there's just too much aggro. Um, I mean, if I could imagine Milrogue actually taking over and being like 15-20% of decks in the meta, I feel like aggro would just become a monster. So
Mhm. I definitely agree, but I think in the Conquest meta in particular, Mill Rogue has a place sort of similar to Mozaki Mage. It has a decent amount of stall, can try to hold back aggro with, well, I guess real ice block or rogue pseudo ice blocks. And then in the control matchups, it's just really favored unless you can find some way to disrupt the combo, like ratting both cold lights before they can shuffle more back into the deck, or just killing the Mozaki.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I think Mozaki Mage might even be more narrow in terms of a counter deck because you only have a certain amount of damage available.
You, I think you can get up north of 100.
You can.
So
You can. But that
Right.
it
also
depends on the size of the
requires,
combo. You do have to get a little lucky, but
yeah, you do have to get kind of lucky with your draws, so it makes it a bit more difficult to hit those high damage targets.
Sure, but I think that, yeah, I guess that primarily affects Jade Druid and Odd Warrior matchups.
Right, which is what you'd probably want to bring Mill Rogue for in the first place, I believe.
There, yep.
yeah.
So.
Just a last note about Milrogue. In the Tempo Storm last Wild Meta snapshot, they actually put Milrogue in tier 3, and they had the other combo decks like Malagos Druid and Mozaki Mage in tier 4. So
Yeah,
some of our brightest minds
that was
think
actually
that Milrogue is quite a good deck.
That was on the hands of Memnarch. He's been jamming it a lot in top 20 lately, and he's been doing very well. Not sure how. Him and Concerned Mom both hit relatively high ranks with the deck after seeing Loudly from China go from 1500 to rank 6 with the deck.
Wow.
So
I mean, I think part of it might be just like in the top 20 to 50-ish. There, at least I've seen a lot of Reno Priest and Reno Lock, so just changes in sort of what people are bringing to ladder may be part of what's fueling Milrogue's rise.
absolutely. So it's definitely a deck to watch. I don't know if it's going to get any more popular, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
go as far as to call it a meme deck.
I'd say the number 1 deck keeping Milrogue in check right now is probably Secret Mage. I think that's the worst matchup for the deck, just because playing on board in the secrets, it makes it
Absolutely.
tough for Milrogue to get a solid game plan going.
Absolutely. And with our discussion of whether Secret Mage will decline, you got to wonder if Milrogue is going to take its place too. I doubt it, but it's fun to think about.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, with that said, it is 2:30 for us. It's going to be 2:40 for our viewers. I do believe it's time for us to get into that matchup. Schoolstone, are you ready?
Yeah, no, I'll exit the call here in just a minute to go play my
Perfect.
match.
We
Pretty excited.
will see you on the other side then. So,
All right, yeah, no, nice talking with you guys.
Yeah,
Peace out.
see you soon. So, with that, we have our classes up on screen again. A Jailstorm from Bash Bros 2 Electric Boogaloo will be facing Duin from a Noyo team. Jailstorm has brought Druid, Mage, Priest, and Rogue, and Duin has his Mage, Priest, Rogue, and Warlock up for today. So let's take a look at the deck lists. Jay, do you want to run us through this while I check on the bans?
Sounds good. So on Duin's side, we have a Reno Mage. It looks a tiny bit untraditional to me, just with running the Alex Strazas and Calicos. as opposed to just pull Keld to really consistently tutor out Luna's Pocket Galaxy. So that'll be interesting to get into a bit more. Then we have a pretty traditional Reno Lock and Reno Lock list and Odd Rogue. Duin's Reno Priest, which he's brought most weeks, is really interesting. It runs Kartoot, Sludge Belcher, and an Zoth package, as opposed to just the traditional top end of Anduin, Psychic Scream, Reno, Raza. With
Just
Storms. Oh, sorry.
just a
You wanted
note.
to say something?
Yes, I do have the bans. It is a double rogue ban.
Yep. I think looking at Jailstorm's list, that makes quite a lot of sense. He brought Mill Rogue, Malagos Druid, and Quest Mage, which seem to be designed just to counter Duin's Reno deck brings, and then a Raza Priest. The only card that I think is unusual on Jailstorm's list is Zola, but I think his list looks a bit closer to what I'd expect to see on ladder than Duin's. So what do you think about the matchup?
Definitely. It does look like Jailstorm is trying to counter Duin here. I know the last time someone tried hitting Duin with a bunch of combo decks, it didn't work out. So it'll be
that
interesting.
was
Yeah, so if Battle Tagger couldn't do it, it'll be interesting to see if Jailstorm can. Duin being a very strong wild player is able to navigate these matchups like no other, and is very difficult even to, beat with these counter decks. So I would expect some quite grindy games despite this.
Yeah, in my mind, I think the deck that Duin's probably going to have the most trouble getting through is his Priest. The only combo disruption he has are Rat and Elucia. And I think with the Forbidden Words, he'll have a better time dealing with Malagos and Kel'Thas, the 4-attack minions in Malagos Druid. But he just needs to find that Rat and Elucia really, really quickly. And with a tiny bit less cycle than traditional lists and a higher top end with N'Zoth, the Reno Priest mirror may lean towards Jailstorm, but I agree it can go either way.
Yeah, it should be very close. So I'm going to let the players know that we are ready when they are.
Okay. I do not think I have them added yet.
Okay,
So
once you
if
add
maybe
them,
you can
yeah, just make sure to add them, and we'll get started.
Yep, I'll get that done. But in the meantime, I think one small thing I might want to point out about, say, the Priest Mirror, if we end up seeing that, is that with the N'Zoth, it'll take Duin an extra turn to get to Psychic Scream. Or Psychic Screamer, and which means that Jailstorm will have a bit more counterplay to get rid of the Polkelt or draw to his combo pieces.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a very important factor to consider. That extra card and slowing down by a turn can really screw you over, since it would be so easy for Jailstorm to combo off before Duin can get online. Okay, they are starting. Just ready for them to line up. We'll have Duin on the bottom screen. Just waiting for them to pick their decks.
What would you bring first if you were either of these players?
If I'm Jailstorm, I'm probably jamming Malagos Druid.
I see. Yeah, I might lean Quest Mage, but I do agree that the combo bring is definitely the right move for this first match.
My issue with Duin's lineup is that he doesn't have any anti-Malagos disruption in the Mage, and therefore all of his decks are going to struggle to disrupt the Druid.
I guess Arcane Keysmith can generate the disruption, but he just has to draw it.
Yeah. So they are in match. We're just about to get in now.
Loatheb Chaining could also disrupt Mali Druid, but with the higher top end, no pull Celt, it'll be harder for him to get that consistent 1-mana Loatheb Chain going.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to have a Mage Mirror.
Mm-hmm. I think. What do you think of this matchup?
Jailstorm is certainly favored. He can take his time. As long as he can avoid the Loatheb chaining, he's in good shape.
Yep. Agreed. I think if he can just drop a few giants and then play Time Warp, Duin ends up at 1, and he can either try to clear the board with Zephyrus or Reno and leaving the giants up. But really, there's no way for him to deal with the board and his health total without something like I'm forgetting the name of the card. 3 mana freeze the board.
Frost Nova.
Right, Frost Nova. I think Reno Frost Nova is the only way he would have been able to counter just giants and 1 HP.
Right. See, I think there's something going. Screen. Let me adjust this real quick.
Oh. I think that early sphere will really help Duin get close, get towards the Loatheb chaining win condition. Let's see if he keeps. No,
this.
No worries.
People should see everything now.
Ooh. I think this is a pretty interesting decision point, whether Jailstorm wants to go in on Luna Mana Biscuit Apprentice just to try to draw through his deck, but whether he'd just draw Giant early on, I think that could really stop him in his tracks. What do you think about that? What do you think about this turn?
I feel like Jailstorm is in a precarious situation because he wants to play Luna to draw, but that would mean using resources as well, and losing the Sorcerer's Apprentice here is a bit awkward.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go for it.
I think just with the difficulty that Duin will have clearing it outside of just finding a Zephyrus into Shadow Word Pain, I think this may be the right play.
Yeah, it definitely is working out.
Quite
a few draws.
Just one turn too, or just a tiny bit too early.
I think that's okay though. Jailstorm doesn't mind this one bit.
Sure, yeah, I mean, he doesn't get to play it right now. Would have been insane with an elemental evocation, but he's in a good spot. Oh, no. This could be a problem for Jailstorm. Just because Duin can Reno Ice. Duin may be able to Reno second Ice Block and find a way to deal with Jailstorm's quest turn.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get the Hijo book? We do not.
That is... But we do get the Licensed Adventurer, which means an extra spell for Cyclone and just an extra draw.
Yeah, we might even see the Polymorph Boar here, just for the extra spell too.
Yeah, honestly, I like the Boar.
Looks like we're gonna hold the Polymorph Boar.
Maybe just for the turn, right? Maybe for the turn after quest turn.
Yeah, I think that's okay here.
Yep. Yeah, I think a lot of the spells nothing seems exceptional here, but I think the Kabbalist's Tome might Cabalist's Tome just to generate more resources seems solid.
Yeah, we're getting close to finishing the quest. I don't think there's a ton of a rush, or much of a rush at all, from Jailstorm's side to finish the quest anytime soon. It's only going to be turn 6, and he already has 2 giants, well, 3 giants now in hand.
Yep.
So he's in a pretty good spot.
Mm-hmm. Oh. We could see a Boar Volcanic Potion if he wants to clear the board, but since he already does have the damage to pop block. I think it only becomes a rush for him once Jailstorm sees the Luna's Pocket Galaxy drop and knows the Loatheb chain is possible.
Right. We do have another boar in hand as well.
Right. I like his decision to play the more expensive one just to be a bit more mana efficient.
But this also allows him to finish the quest next turn and pop the block. Odds are he won't want to transform a giant.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you. But I guess if he does transform, since the boar has charge, it'll still...
Right. So if you're doing...
At 3.
If you're doing, what are you taking here?
Okay, it looks
Fireball.
check the Fireball, and honestly, I think that could be a good... Oh, wait, no, he could just transform the Malagos and go in this turn.
Yeah, I
like this.
I like this as well.
Yep, and then just dropping Flame Waker. Flame Waker Dragon's Breath helps set do into 1 or very close to it.
Yes, and then this means Duin will have a very hard time to deal with the board.
Yep. Honestly, the Flame Strike could have gotten Duin out of this situation.
Yeah, I was surprised to not see him take it. I expected him to try to avoid that, actually.
Now, interesting that he's popping at 7. What do you think Jailstorm's strategy is?
I think he just wants to force the Reno and go in with Flamewaker next turn.
Okay, even if Duin was able to maybe clear the board with Zeph, hope for a Reno next turn, I think Flamewaker and the double evocation puts Jailstorm over the edge. But as we can see, Duin just doesn't have what he needs to get out of this situation unless he gets really lucky off the sphere. What do you think about fireballing your own Mad Scientist to find the ice block in the deck?
I don't think that saves him.
Yep, I agree. It just stalls a turn. Duin may just have to hope for Zephyrus, and that Jailstorm doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a 1-pot with this Kazakus potion here. Yep. Take 2 damage to all. Likely summon a friendly minion. None of these do anything. You already hit the one that you wanted.
Yep. Right. Agreed. Okay, and let's see what secret he gets. And it is the second ice block, so Duin has 1 more turn.
Problem now, though, is he puts himself down to 3.
Yep. Which is in range of Dragon's Breath, but of course Duin doesn't necessarily know that.
Puts him in range of a lot of things.
Okay, yeah, I saw Jailstorm mouse over Deck of Wonders, but I really don't like that. I think the only thing he loses to is top deck Cataclysm at this point.
Don't do it, Jailstorm. I know it's a meme, but...
Okay, and now Duin's probably going to take the Zephyrus for Shadow Word Ruin here.
Yes.
It would be interesting. Yep. Just praying that Jailstorm doesn't have any damage in hand.
It's all you really can do at this point.
Right.
Problem is, this had to happen last turn because we know Jailstorm has the burn. You know, even Flame Waker at this point is dangerous.
Yep. Yep, and Jailstorm is just going to drop the Dragon's Breath, and there we have game one.
There it is. Game one going to Jailstorm.
Yeah. If I'm doing here, I'd be thinking about maybe switching to Reno Lock just because you have the extra disruption in Gnome Feratu, Ticketus, in addition to Rat. Whereas with Mage, I think you end up in the same situation where it's a massive board that you can't clear and deal damage to.
Yeah, I can see that. So.
Oh, well, this is not what I was expecting. We see Jailstorm bringing out the Reno Priest now.
Yeah, and Duin is just sticking with his Mage.
Yep. Jailstorm was not skilled enough to find Polkelt in the mulligan, so it seems like he's probably going to have to search for it.
Oh, what a shame. They both have Dirty Rat, though. So I'm curious to see if we'll see a Dirty Rat before turn 5.
Yeah, I think Duin may want to keep it, and if he sees Jailstorm keep a card, he just rips it, maybe even on 2, just to try to decrease the chance that Jailstorm draws any other useful minions. And we do see Duin keep the Rat.
This is a pretty awkward hand from both of them. I don't see much going on here. Jailstorm with a bunch of really reactive spells and a small cycle in Blood Mage Thalnos. Duin has a good pickup in Zephyrus, though.
Oh, yep, Zeph Wilo growth into Jandis seems really strong.
Yeah, this makes his hand a lot less awkward.
And okay, he plays Shadow Visions instead of
The Thalnos.
Thalnos.
So what do you take here?
Probably Insight. You just need to draw Polkelt.
Yeah, it looks like Jailstorm is feeling the same.
It could be really bad if Jailstorm plays Breath of the Infinite here, not knowing that Jandis is in hand.
He's thinking about it.
Well, yeah, that I honestly like just dropping Thalnos for cycle.
He might go with Penflinger into Renew. Okay, he's clearing with the Penflinger. I don't like using the coin here personally.
I really don't either. This is a strange turn, but I think at least I guess it saves Breath of the Infinite for Jandis, which is
It does.
Probably unintended, but very fortunate. Oh, when Duin gets a pretty decent pulls.
Yeah, it's the 3/6 is above average.
Absolutely, and that's probably the one he maybe keeps alive so he can drop Flame Ward next turn and threaten a really aggressive ward. I think the question is if you maybe Penflinger Renew just to pop 5/5 and then Thalnos, Dragon's Breath. Okay, it looks like he just opted to play the Dragon's Breath.
Yeah, this is risky because now you don't necessarily have a way to clear the Mana Worms once they get summoned.
Okay.
Excavated Evil is very nice for that, actually.
Do it. Yep.
Duin just going for the pop. Gets the 2 Mana Worms.
Yep. I mean, I think Jailstorm really wants to probably look for Kazakus draw 2 at this point, but he may not be able to do that for the next couple of turns, just as Duin puts pressure on the board.
Yeah, you just have to clear those mana worms because you never know what kind of spells that this mage might generate.
Right, for sure. Okay, and Duin just pinging face, opting not to use any of his minions. Mindrender Lucia, like I can envision a world where where he has a neat turn with this after Luna's Pocket Galaxy drops, but I just don't think it can come down anytime soon with Anduin and Penflinger in hand.
Not at all. The only saving grace here is Jailstorm doesn't have Raza yet.
And no draw too.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Jailstorm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you take here instead?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, it may just be summon too, because if I was thinking if he dropped Valnos, he could try to summon for an extra draw.
Went with Polymorph instead and Freeze too. Yes.
Okay. Oh, and we see the Luna's Pocket Galaxy come out. Now, I think at this point, Jailstorm knows he has to go quickly.
Yeah, because
otherwise he can pretty readily get Lothab chained out.
Absolutely, and this is just going to be straight gas from Duin now.
Mm-hmm.
The moment he gets any sort of draw or value generator.
Okay, and now I'm not sure if I like the Kazaka's potion coming down this early. Oh, and the value. Juin draws a 1-mana Glacial Shard.
Love to see it. Yeah, unfortunate for Duin, though, not getting any really good spells here. You really want to see damage.
Absolutely. I think at this point, Duin has to become the aggressor since he knows Anduin is inevitable.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the potion last turn, though. I know you were. We have to remember, Jailstorm has a pretty sizable hand. He has to dump a bit.
Sure, I see your point. I might. Yeah, and now Jailstorm just dropping the Anduin, getting ready to go.
Yeah, I think this is a very safe Anduin here. It's unfortunate because Duin has a very good top deck.
Yeah, the Alex puts him on a really fast. Okay, now we may actually see Duin trying to set up a board so he can just kill Jailstorm in one turn with Alex Straza if he's not suspecting it, if he's not expecting it.
It's definitely a strong strategy, and it baits out quite a bit of removal before Duin drops the 1-mana Alex.
Right. So we might. Oh wait, no. 1-mana Alex plus Cloud Prince. I'm trying to calculate figure out how much damage he has.
If we get Bran and Medivh's Valet, then that should be lethal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check the deck one more time. We do not run Medivh's Valet.
Okay.
We can't do that.
And now, are we going to? No, we are not going to see Zeph Brawl. I think just leaving the Calicos up is a bit nerve-wracking because you don't know what he's drawn.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
Malygos.
Because, yeah, like you said, the Malygos spell, it's very dangerous.
Okay, yep, and we see Jailstorm opting just to get a bit of chip damage in instead.
DQ Alex.
Since Duin doesn't, okay, let's see. Yeah,
I think it might be time to rat.
8 plus 6. No, Duin's just 1 or 2 off right now, so I like. I mean, I like dropping Alex and potentially setting up a big board to threaten lethal if Jailstorm doesn't do anything. But yeah, I agree. It might be rat time.
Yeah, because we're already close to lethal. All we have to do is
Zeph is Zeph is out, that really hurts.
Yep. And now we can drop Reno safely and here if we want to, or just Flame Cannon, and this will threaten lethal next turn.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know if I want a Flame Cannon first.
Yep, and I mean, at this point,
See,
I think if he's already committed to trading it, I think he could have saved the sheep. It doesn't really change the game state overall, but
absolutely
that seems
not.
like
Psychic Scream.
Jailstorm doesn't know about it. Saves him from lethal.
It does.
Right. Okay, and he still takes it.
Looks like he's going to use it too.
Yeah, I like that play as well. Just the Caligos on board is threatening.
Yeah, it's way too dangerous.
Without Zeph, this is all but over. Oh, Nozari.
That's a spicy pick. If you really want to mess with your opponent,
we don't need it. It doesn't. Duin doesn't need it at this point with Reno in hand, but honestly, it's just hilarious to see.
I really wanted to see him play it just to set everyone to full and OTK the next turn.
He just has to hope for Zephyrus here. Oh, and he does not get it. We're probably going to see the wave of apathy come down. Maybe a 5-pot, then wave if he doesn't get freeze and then damage.
AoE and then damage would work too.
Right. Okay, let's see.
This is a bad potion.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it prevents lethal this turn.
It does. So Jailstorm lives another turn.
Duin picking up Mad Scientist, not really changing much with both secrets out.
Looks like we're just going to see Reno the Rollicologist and a ping, I believe.
Yep.
Keeps the board pressure. No need to hold on to Mad Scientist at this point, really.
Yeah, I like just dropping it.
I think there was an argument for actually sheeping the Thalnos.
I guess so.
We're floating 1 mana, and we prevent the draw.
Yep, Seance probably isn't going to do it.
Seance doesn't save him.
Ooh, Hysteria. Hysteria does.
Oh, I don't know about this ping, though. Okay, I see where he was going with this.
Yeah, I would have liked to see maybe Penance then ping face.
Yeah, just heal up a bit. Try to get out of range.
Oh, the Cloud Prince, Potion of Illusion, Cloud Prince.
So we're just 1 Bran away, I believe, right? Or no, because Cloud Prince is not discounted.
Right. Yep, I like seeing Reno just to put board pressure on. I don't think you need Alex. You probably want to use Alex after the Reno.
Do you use Nozari instead?
No, I don't like that. I think Duin likes keeping Jailstorm low because he has 12 in hand.
He's going to put him at 15 regardless. Jailstorm is at 16, so it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Oh, right, Nozari Alex.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I didn't catch that, but that seems like a really good play now that we've seen a lot of the removal come out.
It puts a lot of pressure, and we can just Potion of Illusion that if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nozari coming down, it seems.
Okay. Oh, and he opts to keep the Alex hidden.
Potion Madness isn't
Potion
doing
Madness
anything.
isn't going to be doing anything. Mhm. Okay, he opts to wrap first just to see what's going on in hand.
Pulls the Reno. Not
It's
bad.
30. Yep. He has no way to kill both minions, so I just think we might see Alex Cloud Prince Potion of Illusion next turn. Okay, wait, never mind. He does. Yep, he does kill the Reno.
Yeah, he has to kill the Reno here. He doesn't want that getting copied back into hand.
Absolutely. And Duin draws his own sphere.
Not really looking great for either side right now. Not a lot going on in terms of pressure. Jailstorm was able to deal with the board and survive, and now Duin is kind of out of resources for the time being.
I just think with Raza so low in the deck, with most of the cheap spells already gone, I just think if Duin wants to Potion of Illusion the Nazari, and potentially even Alex, the game's close to over. Not Spirit Lash not doing much here.
Holy Smite isn't much better, but at least it serves as slightly better removal, I guess. It's cheaper, so it combos better.
Okay. I might have even played the Zola on Falnos at this point just to get extra draw, and oh, we finally see Raza come down. I think Duin just has to get the Nazari back. He's already seen that Jailstorm doesn't have Zeph in hand, since both Raised Dead minions came down.
That brand, though, that's lethal.
Yep. And Duin sees it.
Looks like he does.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be game 3. Or 2, sorry.
Yes, so 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Both mages done.
I'm really surprised we didn't see the Malagos Druid here.
Yeah, I don't know. Did not expect that at all from Jailstorm. But Duin getting his mage through regardless. What do you think we see from both of these guys next?
Honestly, I still think Jailstorm needs to get his Maui Druid through, and Duin and Reno Lock just has extra disruption.
Oh, they are heading into the match now, so let's find out.
Jailstorm getting a bit of ramp in Biology Project, but Duin really has nothing to disrupt the combo. We see both opting to pass turn 1.
So this is going to be another slow matchup. Duin really needs Rat. And just any sort of disruption in general. Ticketus is a form of disruption, but I feel like it's too slow here. Oh, Jay, did we lose you? I think we lost 6J again. In the meantime, Jailstorm just taking it slow, trying to draw through.
Sorry, I think I temporarily disconnected.
All good. Welcome back. You missed Duin playing Mistress of Mixtures and tapping. fascinating stuff. So.
Oh, I know.
Now, if you're Jailstorm, are you going to ramp anytime soon?
No, you don't need to ramp. I think you honestly just get rid of Innervate first. If you run into Innervate and Spreading Plagues first, if you run into hand size issues.
I agree. I don't think there's any need to really...
Yep, Ben Duin's just tossing the Defile since he doesn't need it for anything, and Corrupting Mist, so he can just cycle tap more and get to the combo turn.
Yeah, he's gonna need removal for whatever he pulls too, because if he pulls Malygos or Aviana, he currently has no way to deal with it.
Right. Yep, agreed. Okay, and Godfrey looks really good just to coin it out, corrupt the Ticketus.
Yeah, Ticketus might have some utility here with the way this matchup is going. Jailstorm probably just thinking of ramping right now.
Yep, I think, yeah, he probably wants to ramp with Overgrowth, just give him mana without giving Duin any either.
Yeah, I think you want to... Yeah,
and
Ferocious Howl first.
Probably Innervate Overgrowth.
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yep.
Probably thinking of Bioproject instead, but there's not really much to Bioproject into. Might as well just Innervate and not give mana.
Yep.
Yep, we see the Overgrowth come down.
I think Duin just... Now, the interesting question. Yeah, I think Duin just has to coin Godfrey. He can tell Jailstorm hasn't played Melon yet, so we just know Ticketus is coming down.
That doesn't really help Jailstorm either, so he basically just has to avoid getting his combo pieces milled here.
Exactly. For a skilled player, Aviana is the 6th card in his deck.
Well, let's see how skilled Jailstorm is. Comes the tick.
Yep, Duin opting just to play the just trade and play the Felbolt first, just to be a bit more efficient with his removal. Okay, nope, he is not playing the Felbolt.
What do we hit?
Okay, swipe, Moonfire, Paths. Oh my gosh, it didn't hit anything.
So that just helps Jailstorm. He has the damage he needs in hand already, so he doesn't mind having those milled.
At this point, I think what he really wants to see is something like Geppetto.
Still a combo piece. I'll take Kuhn.
Yep. But yeah, he doesn't have an efficient way to deal with just the 8/8 on board.
I think he's just gonna have to Spreading Plague once more.
Yep.
If he even wants to Plague. He might not. He might just tank 8 damage.
We'll see. Okay, yep. Oh, the rat. That... unless he can get Geppetto into we'll see. We'll see what happens with the rat.
That hits Malygos. I don't see Jailstorm winning this.
Right. Okay, and it's a Sathravar. That hurts, but with the 1 UI still in the deck, I think he has just enough.
Yeah, there's a chance. Because he still has another swipe too, correct?
Yep, he should have a second swipe.
He has just enough damage to get there, but that means he can't see Mal'Ganis, potentially.
We just really want to see Geppetto off the top.
Geppetto into UI?
Yep.
Okay, Sphere of Sapience, that should help dig a little bit more.
Okay.
Not sure about this ordering personally. I wanted to see Spreading Plague come down just to get the 3 minions. It looks
Oh,
like Jailstorm doesn't really want to.
Doing May draw first just to look for Bran. I think what Jailstorm might be thinking is that just to wait one more turn before dropping the second plague, since he's not under immediate lethal threat right now.
Right. Fortunately for him, that's not Mal'Ganis.
Yep. Okay, and Jailstorm probably going to pitch away Swipe.
We have 9 cards left in deck. We need that swipe. I don't know about this.
Wait, no. I think, right, I mean, just the fact that he drew Melon is really good.
It is, but we're going to need that swipe to deal enough damage.
I think, oh, this hurts. He has to. The fact that he's at 10 cards.
It's just a poor ordering choice by Jailstorm.
He really should have played Biology Project first just to make space for UI.
Yeah, because now he's going to have to get another combo piece or risk milling something.
Well, I mean, he can't play Aviana. He would need like a second Lightning Bloom and then Duin just drew Mal'Ganis. I think it's over.
Yeah, I think that might just do it, because with Mal'Ganis, Jailstorm will have to kill the Mal'Ganis first before he can do any damage whatsoever.
Yep, and then with only one Mal'Ganis, or one Malagos.
Yeah, there just isn't enough damage.
Yep.
As we see, even with the hard counter, Doom is really putting the pressure on.
Okay, well, maybe he's just hoping that Doom has no removal.
You kind of have to. I think we're going to see Kuhn copied.
Well,
oh, no, we can't.
Sathravar.
Because Sathravar is gone. That's right.
We can't see Kuhn copied. And we see the Kel'Thas active for the insane 1-mana value on Living Roots or Biology Project. I just think not dropping Project was a pretty big misplay.
Absolutely. I just don't see how Jailstorm gets through this now.
I mean,
his combo is gone.
Yeah, he just probably was hoping Doin had. I don't know, like even just on board, there's nothing he can do.
Like once Doin trades
the Malagos.
If he kills the Malagos, what does Jailstorm do? Like Aviana is on the board, and yes, it's a threat, but there are no other real minions to worry about. You have Kael'thas, but that's useless without UI. And there's no way Jailstorm has enough damage at this point.
Yep. Okay, and he's just going to play Gul'dan to resurrect the Mal'Ganis.
Yeah, and there's just no way for Jailstorm to get through this.
Yep. Okay. Yep, and then he, of course, kills the Mal'Ganis, and this is probably just game.
Yeah, Lightning Bloom does nothing here. There's the UI. Doesn't change the outcome of the game, though.
Maybe he's just going to mill himself.
Yeah, looks like it. And there's just nothing for Jailstorm to do here.
Yep, just going. Oh well. Well, I think the Mali Druid versus Reno Priest is a bit more favored for Jailstorm than this matchup was.
Absolutely. That's going to have to be Jailstorm's way through, and then we'll have a Reno Priest mirror where Jailstorm is also slightly favored.
But will we actually see Jailstorm just play the Reno Priest first, just since I think just the fact that Duin has one turn, that Duin has 2 turns between Pole Kelton. Yeah, I think the Reno Priest is favored, but probably not quite as favored as this one.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
sticks
Duin
with
probably
the
Duin keeping Sphere just to search for Rat. Okay, I really don't like the Pole Kelton keep.
yeah, Polkelt does not matter in this matchup at all. You want Elucia and you want Rat, nothing else.
Right.
Sphere is understandable because that can help dig for those exact cards. You don't care about anything else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, we see Jailstorm again with a hand starting to look like last game. Like just a bit of ramp, but nothing to ramp into. I don't like the Zephyr keep either, like even into Wild Growth.
I don't know. I really like the Wild Growth here. It lets you have a few other options in your later turns. You can cycle harder, and you have ways of playing Rat and removal at the same time. Whereas the Druid kind of ramps and tries to kill you as fast as possible, and you need to keep up with the Druid to do that.
Sure, I see your point. Okay, and now we see the Rat.
Yeah, so now this looks much better because next turn what will happen is Duin will go for the Kazakis 5 cost potion, try to get a polymorph, and then as early as turn 6 or as turn 5, he can rat and polymorph.
Yep. And with Malagos being one of the 2 minions in hand. Oh, yeah, with Malagos being one of the 2 minions in hand, this doesn't look great. I think Jailstorm may be ramping just to try to get to UI to cycle. That would be my only guess.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it personally.
Yep, Duin opting to. I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I really wanted to see Kazakis here.
Yep, so did I. Or, I mean, the play. Okay, yep, I think he probably just has to play UI here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go with the Kael'thas as well.
Coming out too. That's interesting. Yep, I like the Living Roots first, just so he has Innervate after the UI to see what he. That's.
So this will pretty much decide whether Duin plays Shadow Reaper and Duin, I think. Oh no, he can't because he has to.
No, he does. Sphere gets him the next card.
Right. So Anduin here is not bad at all.
I agree. I still think like waiting the extra 2 or 3 turns for Raza before you can go off with Spawn. It just seems too slow. I think Jailstorm might be able to like dig with branching paths for the rest of the combo pieces.
So I know Duin is thinking of playing Anduin here. I don't actually think it's the optimal play personally. Kazakis into a 5-pot helps set up for a few things. So next turn, what Duin could do is Psychic Scream this away, mess up the Geppetto pull. Okay, because the 5/5 will be in the deck.
I would have liked to see that, and now we see the melon.
Yeah. So now with the melon,
spreading plague, lightning bloom, melon could be a good setup for, or just to get closer to a 2-turn kill.
You would have to overgrowth,
right,
or branching.
Sure.
I think I'd rather see the
screen
overgrowth.
Scream at this point doesn't do anything just because of Melon.
Right. You want to hold the melon, I think, and bait out the
Mhm.
scream.
Sure. Oh, oh right. We have Kalthas on board. I had honestly forgot about that.
Yeah, so now this is going to be really awkward for Duin because he doesn't have any sort of removal if he pulls a key minion.
Hmm. Well, I guess right. Rat Scream doesn't work because Geppetto.
Right.
Wait, Rat Scream. I mean, there's a chance that like with the rat in the Geppetto pool, he messes things up, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
It doesn't
I
really
don't think.
matter because he's just going to pull everything back with Geppetto.
Right. I guess he only pulls 2 minions, so in a hypothetical world where he gets 1 mana rat plus 1 mana Kel'Thas off Geppetto instead of, say, Malagos, he's in a tough spot.
That's the hope.
Yep. So I think now just Duin has to pray that Geppetto misses.
Geppetto has to miss twice, too, so there's only a 1 in 3 chance.
Right. Just,
He
this
has
is.
to scream.
I think seeing a board like this really emphasizes why Duin needed to go for that Kazakus polymorph earlier. We're just seeing that maybe somewhat smaller mistake from a few turns ago really haunt him here. But at least it delays Jailstorm a turn since he doesn't have 1 mana Aviana. Okay, yep, we see the 1 mana Malagos in hand,
Yeah,
but
and that means
no burn.
it's pretty much over, though.
Mm-hmm. Right, if Jailstorm could find that second UI or find a bit of burn, even just like drawing with branching paths.
Yeah, and Duin doesn't really have any way to get to his other disruption.
Right. Well, he doesn't have a way just to get to 30 damage.
His best bet would be to draw Elucia, but he has so many cards still to go through. He has to get through Raza, Mass Hysteria, and then there's Palm Reading and Hysteria in his deck still as 3 drops.
Yep. Okay, and we see 2 burn cards, so it's just over next turn with the triple Malagos.
Yeah, this will be it. Duin doesn't know, but the writing's in the wall. Whatever he takes doesn't matter.
He drew the Raza, but it's just too late.
It really is. There's nothing really to do here. He's thinking about playing it.
I mean, honestly, what else can he do?
Very true.
Maybe he coined. Maybe I might have. I might have played Spawn Coin Raza just to threaten damage in case, just in the hope that Jailstorm didn't have anything.
That's about all you can do, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but yep, it's just done.
Yep, here comes the combo. So that is 33 damage hitting Duin right now.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it, a 2-2 match coming down to the Priest Mirror.
Yep, I still think Jailstorm's pretty heavily favored in this. We'll see how it plays out.
I agree. So, Duin is still a pretty formidable player, so could go either way, even when he's unfavored.
Right. Agreed. I mean, we've seen that with the Malagos Druid versus Warlock, so maybe he rats Raza.
Let's see how this starts.
Okay, Duin on the coin with Scream. Sometimes he may keep it just to try to counter Polkelt, but that doesn't seem like the best idea, especially with the other cards in his hand.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to keep Kazakus. I don't know about this Kazakus keep personally.
I mean, sometimes when you don't have much, just playing Kazakus into maybe five mana draw 2 works, but I don't think that's going to work very well with Jailstorm's Zeph into Wild Growth into Raza.
It's going to be very difficult.
Mm-hmm. I think the proper play from Duin there was Blessings to you, then heal the opponent's face. And heal Jailstorm's face.
Do you heal his face, or do you heal the Zephyrs?
No, he didn't heal. He didn't heal either.
Right. But what is the optimal play?
I think Blessings to you is referring to the player, so you have to heal face.
I see.
Okay. Playing with the Tyrande hero skin, it's so much weaker than the Light Shall Burn You heal face.
Oh, we're getting into emote meta, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Jailstorm going with the 5-mana Raza, Duin copying it.
Jailstorm not having Anduin or Polkelt could be a real liability here.
Well, you were talking about Polkelt. There he is. And now, Duin is Duin with the well played. He is looking at this and realizing the writing might be on the wall already.
I mean, I think he just screamed. He coined Scream next turn 100% of the time.
You do, but you don't stop Anduin.
I think without Spawn in hand, Jailstorm may have a tough time.
Probably thinking whether it's worth keeping the Novice just in case. The zero-cost Novice is very powerful with Anduin here.
Yep. Agreed. I think you have to trade the Razas. Okay. Yeah, trading Polkelt first allows him to raise dead it just to start sight.
Well, it's less about raise dead and more that this plays around Psychic Scream.
Right. Oh, wait, no. No, Duin has Spawn. Duin may just start to prep for his own lethal.
Yeah, he's already taken the 1-cost spell. Deal 3 damage, gain 4 armor.
3 is huge. That's huge. Yep, and then coin Anduin next turn. No, I don't think he has lethal if it. He might. Oh, I'm just trying to figure out if he has lethal on turn 8 if he coins Anduin.
He does not.
Right. Wait. Yeah, Duin probably wants to Scream this turn just to stop the Spawn draw. And no, it actually deactivates Reno effects too. Since there are 2 Kazakus.
You gonna go with the coin Anduin play too?
No. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just betting that Jailstorm is a few cards off spawn.
Yeah, this is a big risk.
Mhm. I'm just thinking most minions in Duan's deck, if Duan can draw a cheap minion off the insight, he may have it.
I think this is when we're going to see Scream.
Mm,
A Scream here would deactivate Duan's deck,
mm,
right?
I mean,
Or no, he does not run Novice, so it would not.
okay, yep,
So Scream here doesn't actually do anything.
right.
Yeah, I
I
don't know if
mean,
Jailstorm recognizes that.
honestly, dilutes draws just a tiny bit to delay spawn. I mean, if he's going to go for play one of his big removal cards, I just like getting Scream out of hand.
It looks like he's thinking the same.
Yep. Duan probably recognize. Okay, okay, wait, no, Jailstorm does have lethal next turn with spawn.
Yes.
Or does he? Yeah.
Yes, he should.
Yeah. hmm
So what he can do is
No,
play
wait.
Spawn, play the Wave of Apathy,
No,
steal whatever he waves.
right. Yep. I think. Yep. That's exact lethal.
Yeah.
With the one attack, with the extra one
Yes.
attack wave. I was thinking one off, but I forgot about the wave of apathy being able to attack, and I think this will do it.
Yes, this should be lethal.
Yep. Jailstorm's probably just counting it up.
Yep. There it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When choosing not to play Scream and allow Jailstorm to draw spawn might have been his downfall in this game. In this series.
Yeah, I think so. So that'll be it. 3-2 Jailstorm. Jailstorm just taking it here.
Mm-hmm.
Very close match from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Much closer than one might expect. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even with what looked like a full counter lineup.
and there you have it. So I'm going to hit up Jailstorm to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Waiting on them. Hey,
Okay.
congrats on the win.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, no, it was real fun playing on stream.
Yeah, really crucial win for your team. Just keeping you all in contention for the team win this week.
Yeah, no, my team's not doing that great this week, but yeah, happy to take the win.
Mhm.
It was a pretty close series, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely
Wait,
very close.
Well, since you can see Duan's hand, he had spawn too and was setting up to lethal you if you didn't have it exactly that turn.
Yeah, no, he's chatting with me right now. He said he had a 50-50 lethal when he passed. And when he played the Car 2 defender actually gave me the lethal. So a really close game at the end there. We both drew pretty well. I drew Polkelt and the Raza real early. He drew his entire combo real early. So
Yeah, very well done on both sides. It was much closer, pretty grindy too, I'd say, considering how you brought pretty much a full combo lineup.
yeah, no, the combo decks I think they're pretty favored against the Reno. It's far from like guaranteed victory, just because they're dirty rat in all the decks and playing on board.
Mm.
But games 2 and 3 for me were pretty tough. I
Yeah.
did not draw that well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dirty had in all the decks, even your Malagos Druid at one point.
Yeah, no, both games with the Druid, I drew Malagos like turn 2, turn 3. It's not ideal.
yeah. Malagos
Um,
Druid is a pretty strange deck where it is right now. It has such poor draws sometimes that you just brick, and there's nothing you can really do, despite the deck being able to combo as early as like turn 5.
Yep.
Some games.
yeah, once you do get those projects in the Psych Melon, the deck rolls pretty well. But unless if you don't get Psych Melon, it's pretty bad.
It's
Yeah.
definitely tough to manage hand size sometimes, as I think we saw in the Reno Lock game.
Yeah, no, I think I might have had it if I played the Biology project before I played my 4-drop there to have 9 cards in hand instead of 10 there, and I maybe could have drawn a damage card that would have put me over there. But yeah, that Warlock game after he dirty ratted, it was pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so congrats on the win. I'm sure your team will
Yeah,
be very happy to see the points you brought with this. With that being said, we do have another matchup. You guys want to check it out?
Yeah, I actually have to add both of the players real quick. So
Yeah, so in the meantime, while we take care of that, let's pull up the deck lists. So we have Quake Lord, who brought Priest, Rogue, Mage, and Warlock against Dirty Mike, who has Rogue, Warrior, Priest, and Warlock.
I have Quake Lord. I had Paladin and Quake Lords lists. I'm not sure if I heard you say that.
I see Paladin as well. Let me just double check that.
I see Mage, Warlock, Paladin, Warrior from Quake Lord.
Oh no. Small indie company here over at THL, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just double check the lists. There may have been a mistake.
Right, I remember Quake Lord asking in the THL Discord about what to do with the Allura nerf, since that effect is Tip the Scales Paladin.
Okay, I might
Yeah,
have the
so
wrong
Quakelord
lists.
did bring the Paladin. He has
Okay, I will.
the LPG Mage, he has the Reno Warlock, the Murloc Paladin with the Tip to Scales, and then Bomb Warrior.
Yes, let me just edit this real quick then and get Lord's proper lists up. So in the meantime, you guys can talk about Dirty Mike's lists.
Yeah, can someone throw the battle tags in the chat as well?
Okay. Dirty Mike's lists. We see a pretty we see a freeze odd rogue. It looks like it's teched for Dark Glaring Kingsbane, though Quake Lord didn't bring any of those decks.
Correct.
But Bad Rogue is still just really consistent, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it still has the package with the Poisons Buccaneer, and then Cutting Class Toxin Blade Secret Passage. So
pretty traditional Bomb Warrior. I think this is based off the list Lasagna had posted a while ago. Look, it'll do really it. Okay. Also meant to counter Priest and Dark Glare, but again, Quake Lord didn't bring either of those. Lock may be a bit harder for the Bomb Warrior just because of the taunt walls. You can win without your Highlander cards, unlike Priest, where it's just entirely dependent on your Raza Anduin.
Correct. So, just getting Quake Lord's lists up.
Mage may have a bit of trouble with the Bomb Warrior, but with LPG, it can still have some pretty insane swing turns and come back.
Yeah, so both of these Bomb Warriors were brought by these players in 2 Reno decks as well. So the Bomb Warrior shouldn't have a problem getting a win for both of these players.
Looking at the Reno Warlock, I see Geppetto and Fire Breather, 2 cards that seem really unusual in this deck list. What do you think? What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's really interesting because he also has Barista Lynchin in there. So this is a greedier Reno lock. It has Zolo the Gorgon too.
Maybe it's meant to Loatheb Chain as a secondary win condition.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
possible.
you also don't see Lothab in there a lot too.
Mhm.
So it's kind of mixing in the
Right.
LPG mage with the what do you call it? Lothab, Barista Lynchin, and Zola, trying to lock out the board
We
states
do
against the
see
control
that
decks.
Quake Lord's lock list does run both Gul'dan and N'Zoth, whereas Dirty Mike's only runs the Gul'dan. So I think if we see Arena Lock mirror, I think Quake Lord is pretty favored into that as well.
Yeah, looking at the Reno Warlock mirror, the best card in this matchup is definitely Ticketus.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever Ticketus first, and if you Ticketus and mill the opponent's Ticketus, you're very favored.
Right. Or if you just hit the Blood Reaver.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just waiting on the players to add everyone.
Okay.
And then we will get into that match.
Mhm. Okay, there's Dirty Mike's tag. Oh.
It should be very soon.
Mhm.
So we will have Quake Lord on the bottom once they are ready to go. Are you guys all added?
I just
Almost. Give me just one more second.
Dirty
Sorry.
Mike. I have
Yeah.
Quake Lord added.
Okay, do we know the bands as well?
So Quake Lord banned Dirty Mike's Warrior, and Dirty Mike banned Quake Lord's Murloc Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Paladin is banned for Quake Lord, and Warrior is banned for Dirty Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Let me know when you guys are all set
I'm
and
good.
give the players a go. Just let them know they can
Mm-hmm.
start when they're ready.
Okay, I'm just trying to find Dirty Mike in my friends list. Okay, yep, I have them both.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Unfortunate that we can't see that Murloc Paladin see play.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that. It's a very fun deck to watch.
Yeah, especially with Allura now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, this Murloc Paladin's got some interesting cards too. It has the Clockwork Gnome. It has the two Nerubar Weblords.
I actually get to see it a bit later today in my own match.
oh, lucky
Oh,
you.
nice.
So
All right, are we ready?
yes, we are ready, just waiting on them.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm giving them the go ahead, and then once they get in match, we will have Dirty Mike on the bottom and Quake Lord on the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both of these players bought pretty similar deck lists. With the Murloc Paladin by Quake Lord and then the Odd Rogue by Dirty Mike here. But besides that, these decks, they all three of them brought the Bomb Warrior, the Reno Priest, and the Reno Warlock. So,
No, we don't have Reno Priest on Jailstorm side.
or
Sorry, we don't have it on
yes,
Quake.
not on Quake Lord. Sorry, you're right. That's LPG Mage. My
Yeah,
bad.
but two Reno decks and the Bomb Warrior, it's still not too far away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So they are preparing now.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting for that to start.
And we've got a game.
Right.
Now we have Quake Lord's Reno Mage versus Dirty Mike's Odd Rogue.
Just going to fix this. We have a slight issue with window sizes.
Yeah, we'll probably see a patches bug as well this game.
Oh, right.
Patches was fixed, wasn't it?
Is that true?
We'll see in a minute because
Yeah, I guess.
he has two prize plunderers in hand. We see Quake Lord getting a nice block back off the mulligan, which will be really useful for him as he tries to stave off Dirty Mike's aggression.
Yep, seems like we have no problems whatsoever with patches right now. So everything is set. Let me just fix some of the screen stuff. Time.
And the Zephyrus 2 really big pull.
grabs the Reno the Relicologist off the top.
Oh my gosh. Who
Yeah,
needs a
with the Reno the Relicologist and the Zeph, he's definitely got the tools so far to deal with the boards that Odd Rogue can present.
like, who needs fear or pull couch when you can just draw like this?
Don't mind me just fixing.
Yeah, so Quake Lord's looking for the best way to get rid of this this Hench Clan thug here.
Right. Coins F eviscerate. It does get rid of it, but it feels really bad, just especially given the extra, all the 2-1s and 3-1s that could be cleared with Whirlwind.
If I'm
Yeah,
Quake Lord, I might just drop the Stargazer Luna. Bait an attack there, and then clear next
Right.
turn.
Yeah. Right. I like the Luna play too. You just either have to clear it or let him draw everything, but he instead opts for the eviscerate.
Yeah, I might have dropped the Luna there too. Usually you save Luna for after you play Luna's Pocket Galaxy, but against this rogue deck, it's hard to imagine you get that down.
Mhm.
Opting to trade using his face, doesn't want to use the prize plunderer yet.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think he's saving the price of that plat?
Xakis is pretty big here, but Lotheb will present a substantial challenge.
Yeah, the Arcane Intellect into Wand Thief just kind of offers more options for Quake Lord here. He can always Kazakis for a 1-cost potion next turn.
But with Lotheb coming down.
He doesn't know that, obviously, but he does have Jandis too, which isn't too bad an answer.
Double Earth Elemental time.
Yeah, if Jandis pulls a couple taunts, that's going to be great.
Yeah, just
Opts to
opting.
trade again instead of pushing damage.
I think no, he still has lethal just based on the current board state. Or no, he doesn't. Never mind.
He has lethal in hand, yes.
He
He has
does in
lethal
hand.
in hand. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if he's still.
Yeah, so Quake Lord using that early coin, now he can't coin Reno the Relicologist, which would clear this board.
I think at this point he just has to pray Jandis. Pray Jandis gives him taunts.
Yeah, you can't risk going that low against Odd Rogue when it has Nitro Boost Poison available.
In that top deck by Quake Lord, the Mad Scientist, that seems like it's just one turn too late.
You can't do anything with that now. It's a dead card.
Yeah.
Okay. We see him.
Opts for the hero power.
Doesn't save him though. Or it saves him 1 turn. Sorry. Because he has...
I think he's 1 off, 2 off.
Or no, he has lethal. Yep. It's just lethal.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Wow.
Nitro Boost
My
is
mistake. So
an
sorry,
insane
everyone.
card. And that's a quick game 1. Odd Rogue certainly isn't the flashiest of decks, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Quake Lord definitely drew his better cards for that matchup too.
I know.
Tough to win for the LPG Mage.
Yeah, it's just super unfortunate. Just goes to show why Odd Rogue has become so popular, as we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, Lotheb on 5 is a pretty tough thing to play around too.
Now we have a match that's probably a bit better position for Quake Lord. He has Galakron Bomb Warrior into Dirty Mike's Raza Priest. And we see the Clockwork Goblin Wrench Caliber in hand, which means 2 bombs in before Raza turn.
So he opts to throw away the pull cut here. That's pretty interesting.
I mean,
it seems like we are having a bug, so I will just exit in the meantime and re-enter. Sorry for any of the viewers.
Polkel just isn't going to save him in this matchup because the bombs will reshuffle the deck.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the only thing that could help is, say, if Dirty Mike were to rat into the Clockwork Goblin.
That only delays the inevitable, though.
Right. Say if he were to draw Zeph into Ooze when there was one bomb in deck, or even Raza. I was just thinking that it could present some problems. Could present some problems. And then the Fauno Spirit Lash as heal. Also a big deal for Dirty Mike.
Yeah,
Probably
and
not
with the Moarg on board too, that is a lot of healing.
I suspect that Quake Lord recognizes the potential of Moarg Spirit Lash, so he'll probably clear it once he gets the wrench out. Interesting that we see him opting to coin the Wrench Caliber instead of just dropping the Clockwork Goblin. Thank you.
Well, he wants to clear the Northshire Cleric here to deny one more draw from Dirty Mike.
Right. I think my game was bugged, so I didn't see the Northshire come down.
Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
we've had some issues with this spectating right now, at least in this matchup in particular.
I got both. I got them both back.
Perfect.
Now the dirty rat coming down to stop him from clearing the Moarg. Let's see.
So,
wait,
this is a cute play.
Awaken is really good here.
Yeah, it clears the entire board and lets Quick Lord deal with the Dirty Rat as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can see Dirty Mike's hand here. He has the draw for Insight, but one of Priest's known weaknesses is once they play their cards that control the board, they just don't have a hand left. So
we see Shadow Reaper Anduin. It'll be hard for him to win without just a clear. It'll be hard for Dirty Mike to win even with that, without a clear way to go face and without Raza active.
Right.
Oh yeah, and playing Shadow Reaper Anduin replaces your hero power that heals you too, so it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Right.
And you really need all the healing you can get in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. Well, with Thalnos and Moarg gone, unless Dirty Mike hits a pretty lucky raised debt, it seems like he's out of most of his healing for the game.
Did he attack into the Dirty Rat?
Oh, wait, no, I think if I just got a message from Quake Lord saying that his game is lagging, so it seems like the bugs may be on the player side soon.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that is super unfortunate. A miss attack, not really anyone's fault. How much you can do here about it?
Well, I like dropping the Clockwork Goblin and then hitting, just so, say, one bomb draw doesn't bring Raza back.
Yeah, so Town Crier draws either the Ziliax or the Scion of Ruins. Is that correct?
Yes, it looks like we're having bugs from Quake Lord's side. Game is lagging.
I think he's going out and reconnecting.
Yeah. So, thing is, from his side, you want to get bombs in, and you need to attack here. You can't miss again. So I think we're going to see the Shield of Galakron coming down instead, just to take care of that rat so that he can go back to hitting face.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about dropping...
starting the client.
Seems like he might have reconnected here. Let's see.
Yes, he should have.
Yep, and... Yep, and just like you said, he's opting to drop the Shield of Galakron and then just clear that rat once and for all.
Yeah, so Galakron the Apocalypse is now, it's upgraded once, so 2 invokes have been played. He has another invoke in hand with a Ritual Chopper.
That would
But
be
buffing that Galakron to draw 4 minions would be pretty solid in this matchup.
the Lucia is pretty interesting. I think the sort of last ditch effort Dirty Mike has is just drop a Lucia and hope Quake Lord draws every single bomb in the deck.
I mean, he can
Yeah,
also
yeah.
just steal the Wrench Caliber if it's not played here.
Well,
Okay,
if he right, he'd have to steal the wrench, then choose not to attack. I think.
correct.
Yeah, this would be the turn
His
to
own
do
deck.
it, but
Mhm.
because you can't give your opponent Anduin when they have 8 mana, so
The raised dead could be really good in giving him the Moarg Spirit Lash back.
Yeah, I
What I
think
might
he's gonna go for the
might
Raised
see
Dead.
on his side is actually maybe if he were to drop, I think potentially just like with the Thalnos Spirit Lash to heal, like just tempoing out Spawn of Shadows. I think. I mean, we know Quake Lord. If this game keeps on going the way it is, Quake Lord
just plays for tempo. Yeah, Spawn of Shadows is probably one of his last plays that he'd do. Unless he has like no resources in hand, you know?
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like with what Jay was saying, if you drop Spawn here, you get more minions on the board, so you can have a big swing turn with Thalnos, Seance, second Thalnos, and Spirit Lash. So there was merit to playing the Spawn there, not because it can damage you, but because it's an extra body on the board that isn't easily removed.
Part of it was also
Gotcha.
for the damage. Just like Dirty Mike's not going to win with Raza Anduin. So I think he just has to find that alternative way to do it. Like I've often found myself like tempoing Spawn against, say, even Kingsbane, just since I'm not going to outpace a 10 attack weapon hitting my face each turn.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So Dirty Mike can do something cute here. He can go Lorekeeper Polecat and try to play the game where he gets Quake Lord to draw a bunch of bombs.
Yep, that's honestly, I think that's his sort of last hope at this point.
Yeah, Holy Fire here is also very useful for the healing.
And just to clear.
Yeah, that game plan with the Polkout and the Elusia, that only gets interrupted if Quake Lord shuffles another bomb in after Polkout is played, correct?
We've seen both wrenches and then one. Okay, now the Polkout would have been real if okay, no, we're just going to see the Galakron come down. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Blastmaster Boom isn't necessarily the best play into Reno Priest just because Psychic Scream is such a good denial of that power swing.
Right, but I guess at least from our perspective as the casters, we just see that he doesn't have it. So Boom could have.
Yeah, no, Boom would have been very effective in this circumstance.
Brand Scion of Rune with the second one in hand, that just creates a massive board.
Yeah, and Dirty Mike doesn't really have any way to handle that board either.
Right, that's kind of why I was thinking he had to. Or well, he does have Anduin.
The main problem for Dirty Mike now is that Quake Lord can send a bunch of hero power damage to face, and he doesn't have any real way to heal or contest board.
I guess that's part of the reason I was saying the early spawn could have put in some work for him. Just potentially, like, on those early turns when he didn't have many big minions, that extra damage could have let him maybe try to get a lethal with Anduin.
Possibly.
I really think this is a Dr. Boom turn.
I do too.
You're setting up lethal. You're forcing him to use removal to clear your board. Otherwise, you just win with Kronks.
Okay, we're going to see.
Because you're saving Brand for when you play Kronks. Like, those two cards are kind of stuck together.
And we're just going to see deal 10 to the face.
Sure. 9 mana, 12/14. Pyroblast, Hillier, here to full.
Okay, we see one bomb drawn.
Just need
And
one more.
Zephyrus. And even with Anduin, we just see heal Anduin is the only way he survives. But from what we could see, Blast Master Boom Awaken just ends it.
Yeah, Dirty Mike just doesn't have any tools, and the bombs in his deck are disabling the Highlander cards, so...
I guess the big limitation of Reno, I guess this is part of the reason Reno Priest is so much weaker than into Bomb Warrior than the other Cabal Reno classes.
Correct.
You just don't have the tools to... You just don't have the tools to fight for board without your combo.
And Reno Priest is more combo heavy, while other Reno decks are more board variant with N'Zoth packages and stuff like that.
Yep, and we
Reno Priest doesn't have that.
Blast Master Boom Awaken.
Oh, and there you have it.
Game 2.
One to one.
Mm.
So what are these guys playing next?
So Quake Lord still has his Reno Mage and Reno Warlock, right?
I think it's Dirty Mike who has the Priest and Warlock. Quake Lord has the Mage, or right, Mage and Warlock. I might have been mistaken. Okay, yeah, no, they both have the 2 Reno decks.
Yeah.
Probably like Priest again from Dirty Mike and potentially Reno Lock from Quake Lord.
Yeah, I think Dirty Mike, it might be the Priest, it might be the Warlock. They're spending a bit of time here before queuing up the next match, so
Yeah,
they're
there
probably
was an
putting a bit of
issue.
thought in as well.
No, we had an issue with connecting, actually.
Oh, gotcha.
So we were kicked. They are in the match. I'm entering again for us to view.
And we see a Reno Lock mirror.
A Reno Lock mirror.
Ooh, this is going to be fun.
Okay. Oh, Dirty Mike has Ticketus in hand. Quake Lord does not.
Not looking good for Quake Lord then.
Mm-hmm. And we see just the single best card in the game, Cobalt Librarian in Dirty Mike's hand. So, yep, even more cycle just to try to find those expensive cards to corrupt Ticketus.
And considering that you have the Raised Dead in your hand, it might be worth considering not playing a ton of minions on board here, kind of tapping more.
I like Gnome here, just like since you can Raise Dead it.
Yeah, I was thinking you might want to Raised Dead the Ticketus if possible, but it doesn't seem like he's going for that plan.
I mean, he doesn't have any of his 7+ minions.
True.
Drops, so... We'll see. Now, we see Quake Lord at 9 cards here. I guess the question is whether he'll spend Plague of Flames just to clear up space for future draws. And he does not.
Yeah, and the mirror matchup for this, you can't really waste a ton of cards here because it's kind of a value matchup. These are both value decks, right?
Sure. Okay, we are seeing Zephyrus for Mortal Coil, potentially for even more draw.
Yeah, maybe Dirty Mike was looking for something different there. I'm not really sure.
Or if he just wants Zeph in the Raised Dead, cool.
Possibly.
Librarian Gnome Zeph seems like a really good set of cards to pick 2 of. This is really interesting. I really do not like picking the Chaplain here, just since we know there's the Raised Dead in hand. 3 of these cards are just so good to get back, and then there's 2/3, then there's the 2 mana 2/3.
Yeah, well, generally you don't want a Zephyrs for a
And we
for a
see him.
2-mana 2/3, but
Yeah, we see him trading into the Zeph.
mhm.
Yeah, with this Bran pickup, I like him trading the gnome first before Raised Dead, just so he can potentially Bran gnome.
Yeah,
Or does he?
Yeah,
Or does he save it for the Ticketus? Yeah, I think with Ticketus in hand and it getting so close, it may be right to hold off on the Bran.
Yeah, there's no reason to brand here. I think it looks like he's just gonna do it though.
interesting.
I don't know about this.
It's Armor Vendor and Dirty Rat. Nothing.
Yeah, so
Nothing.
the trade-off here is you mill 1 card with Gnome Feratu, but you mill 5 with Ticketus.
Right.
So
The
I'm
argument
not
though.
sure why he's pushing the mill here.
Well,
He
here's the
could
thing.
be a lot more patient.
Yeah.
Quake Lord is at 13 cards.
What we've seen Dirty Mike toss both Void Lord and Twisting Nether. So
Yeah.
so it doesn't seem like he's looking too hard to get Ticketus ready.
Yeah, like Dirty Mike is already very far ahead in the fatigue game.
Right.
So he might be thinking that he doesn't have to brand Ticketus.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point,
it's kind of a trade-off because he knows that Quake Lord is still drawing to try to find Ticketus.
Okay, I'm really surprised that he didn't pick the Poly Potion.
yeah, the lack of choice in
Poly
poly
would have
potions is a
been
bit strange.
really, really good just knowing that Quake Lord runs the Gul'dan and is off.
Yeah, I don't know. At least he has something to corrupt Ticketus now.
Okay, yeah. I was confused about why he had played Zeph there.
Yeah, so the Kazakus potion now can potentially bring back Bran, right?
Mhm.
But you don't want to use the coin for a 10-mana play with Ticketus like that. That's just too slow.
Right.
All right.
I
7 mana 5/10. I haven't seen this played in, I don't know, 3-4 years.
good stats for cost. It's 3 total stats more than Ogre.
Some great analysis there. Thank you. Ogre's one of my favorite cards.
Mm-hmm.
Not going for Ticketus yet.
Boulder Fist Ogre expansion when?
Opting for Doomsayer instead, it seems. Or potentially thinking about it.
Is he?
Yeah.
I think he may be going for the Bran off a Kazakus potion, but I don't like that. It just gives Quake Lord more time to draw his own Ticketus.
Well, it's far from guaranteed too, and putting the Doomsayer in the Raised Dead pool or the Kazakus pool, that's not super great. So
I know. Now we're probably going to see Kazakus just for 10 here. Okay, first no mass sheep. Okay, and there's the sheep potion. That's huge for Quake Lord. But whether it'll be enough after Ticketus is an open question.
yeah, so Dirty Mike's got a lot of options here. And he can still tap because he's winning by quite a bit in the fatigue game.
I don't think he's going to want to tap anytime soon, though.
I mean, he saw Quake Lord's Godfrey and no Ticketus, so I think he must know it's still in the deck. I think if he just hits the Ticketus, he ends the game on this. If he can just hit Quake Lord's Ticketus, the game is over on the spot.
Yeah. And keep in mind at this point, Quake Lord only has 9 cards in his deck, so Bran Ticketus would it wouldn't even get you full value here.
More than a 50% chance. If I'm Dirty Mike, I think I just dropped the Ticketus.
Not going for Ticketus, though. Really
if you are Dirty Mike, though, you might understand that Quake Lord possibly has the Ticketus, but he doesn't have Zola or Bran to combo with it. Which at this point you would probably need.
In that case, I think you're even more eager to just drop it, deny him that value.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, yep. Now that we've seen the Kazakus potion did not bring Bran back, I think it's just time to. It just has to be time to Ticketus. And,
Ooh,
okay.
the Archwitch Willow is a great pickup here.
But
You can't play it though.
it brings Ticketus out of hand and then makes Quakelord's fatiguing even worse.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't play a ton of Reno Warlock. That's just lack of experience.
Okay, and finally now we see the Ticketus.
Ray's
Okay.
dead. Dark Skies. Bran. Wizard.
And like,
And
oh my god,
Finley.
he still gets Zola Ticketus. He still
Yeah,
gets
so
Ticketus. I think
there's
Quakelord-
Ticketus and what other card in there?
it,
And
Void
Void
Caller.
Caller.
Yep, I like dropping the Mal'Ganis here just to get the Gul'dan pool ready.
Yeah, just go face. There's not a lot of pressure on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dirty Mike run Zola? I think he does, right?
I'm checking out. Yes, he does.
So you probably do want to clear the Ticketus if possible, but he didn't really have a great way of doing that outside of the potion.
That. Ooh, the cask. Yeah, the. Now, okay. Oh, wait, no, Dirty. Quakelord has a really good play with just Blood Reaver Gul'dan just to corrupt the Ticketus. Like, it corrupts the Ticketus, brings a big board back, heals. And now we can see Dirty Mike playing Reno for tempo to some degree.
Yeah, and now Quakelord is already in fatigue. Dirty Mike, 11 cards ahead.
Right, but at least we see that there's the Ticketus Zola Ticketus, so it seems like both of them are going to be in fatigue very soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the 1 or 2 turn difference by Quakelord makes a pretty big difference.
Sure. You're right. And then without Finley Wizard, he can't deactivate Dirty Mike's Gul'dan Blood Reaver hero power.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
So
I believe there's a clear, but he needed to attack first into the Void Lord to clear everything. This is gonna leave a bunch of minions on the board now. Yeah, a bunch of 1 health minions.
That's not ideal for him. And then we still see the 1 health. We see the 1 health 5/5 with Lifesteal. That'll be huge for Quakelord. We see Dirty Mike drawing. I'm fully expecting Ticketus Zola here.
Same.
Here's Ticketus. Vile Sense Demons, Lothab, Dreadlord.
Dreadlord is a huge
Zola.
one. Dreadlord is a really big one. Now, I guess the question is whether we see Gnome instead, since there are so few cards.
Yeah, and this has the chance to mill. This has the chance to mill Void Lord as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you play the Gnome Feratu just because he doesn't have a great way to clear the Ticketus too. Most times.
And it looks like we are going to see Quakelord hero power then. Gnome.
Yeah, I like this a lot because you can always Zola and play the second Ticketus next turn.
There goes Void Lord too.
Yep,
now
that's what I was.
That's game over, I think.
Yeah, I was waiting for exactly that because that was the card that Dirty Mike had sent back last. So I just don't see how Dirty Mike comes back.
Yeah, taking out those 2 big demons from the res pool of Blood Reaver Gul'dan makes that much less effective, and we see the N'Zoth and Quakeslord hand, so...
Yeah, he has no demons in his pool, like no good demons. He has, what, Ticketus? But Ticketus doesn't have Taunt, and it isn't sticky. Quakelord has N'Zoth for another board, and we've already seen Zephyrs from Dirty Mike's side.
Yep, and we see Ticketus go face, and then just big taunt board.
The top deck Twisting Nether by Dirty Mike does something, but
It,
there's just
I,
still so much demons left over.
I don't think it's enough.
You're still facing lethal.
Yep.
Yeah, you are.
And Zeph gives Bloodlust. You could just eat one of the Void Callers and then...
That isn't even enough because you have 2 5/5s.
Yeah, you
on the
still
board.
have so many, and the hero power too. It's just not enough.
Yeah, this is just lethal on board.
Yeah, no,
Oh, he doesn't get the 5/5 actually.
I think he has to
Oh, but it still is.
siphon life into Zephyrus. Let's see if he...
Yeah, no, this is guaranteed here, even without Zeph.
I'm sure he sees it. Okay, never mind. He doesn't need to Zeph. I think Zeph is the fancy play, but yeah, he just has lethal.
Alright, so Quakelord takes the mirror match with his Reno Warlock. He's just got the LPG Mage left, right?
Yep, LPG Mage into Reno Lock and Reno Priest.
Yes.
Yep, I don't like... Yeah, I think the LPG may have a tough time into Lock.
It really depends. Because yes, it's unfavored,
Mhm.
but the milling isn't as much of a factor in that matchup as some would
Right.
think.
I guess I wasn't referring to the milling, I was just referring to the big demon boards.
Yeah, it is a problem for sure.
Right, because like Quakelord doesn't really have a clean way to deal with it, and he keeps the Finley, potentially looking just to stop Dirty Mike's draws early on.
Or just draw more of his own, possibly trying to get the Warlock hero power.
Well, it'll be interesting. Oh, and he has the Finley Wizard. Yep, he's Dirty Mike's draw engine is. Never
Yeah, well,
mind.
if Dirty Mike queued his Priest here, Quakelord would be in a pretty great position, but
Oh, yeah. I what do you think about this play? I really liked the Finley Wizard to stop Dirty Mike from drawing, getting to his late game value bombs.
Yeah, I think deciding to play out the Finley there could have been a misplay. Because yes, you do get the Hunter hero power, but that doesn't matter when it's a Reno deck.
Yep.
yeah, I think he was really searching for the Warlock hero power, trying to match. And you could play the Grizzled Wizard and Finley to deny your opponent's draw, but it's better to advance your own gameplay than hinder your opponent's, right? In this scenario.
Right. So I do think we're gonna just see Quakelord play the Arcane Intellect here and get the tap with Grizzled Wizard next turn instead.
Yep. I like that.
Yep. Looking just like that.
Yep, and then we may see the Mana Saber come down soon, just in a turn, maybe 2 turns, just to get to our Tortolin a bit earlier.
Yeah, I still think you do the Wizard and hero power this turn. The drawing is just so much better. So Quakelord's hand right here, he has 2 of the bounce cards with Zola and Barista. And if he gets the LPG proc off the Tortolin Pilgrim, all he needs is some draw, and his deck could start rolling.
Ooh, and we see Dirty Mike. It looks like he's going for Zaket. Okay. Ooh, summon 2 friendlies, give minions +4 health. It looks like he's just going to make a resilient board that Quakelord will have a hard time dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... Okay, yep, and we're seeing the polymorph. That makes a lot of sense given the big demon, given how important the big demon pool is to Dirty Mike's game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'd like to see here is him just not trading the Ziliax, just hit face, force Quake Lord to deal with the board.
Yeah, I like this
And
as
Quake
well.
Lord picks up. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and he rats the Reno.
Schoolstone, you
And
were
yep,
saying?
next turn we are going to see him go for the LPG.
Yeah. Schoolstone, you were
I
saying
really,
before?
Yeah, he picks up the Potion of Illusion. Just another bounce effect. Kind of crazy.
I really, I
He's
would
more
really,
looking for the Book of Specters, the Stargazer Luna. Does he run Luna? Yeah, he does.
Yes.
yep. I think we saw him pass it up in the mulligan. Now
Yeah.
we,
No, previous versions of this Luna's Pocket Galaxy Mage used to run even Cold Light, just because they kind of need draw.
I really like Dirty Mike's play here. Just getting the extra health, putting it out of range of just about everything but Zephyrus into Brawl.
I like this as well. There's not much for Quakelord to really do here, because he can't even get through the Ziliax without sending both of his minions into it. And then what does he do from there?
I
Yeah,
mean,
and given that like 14 damage is presented on board, he's got to find some way to deal with this.
maybe. I was going to say Ziliax into the Mistress, but it doesn't work well with a +4 HP.
You have
I mean, this is
Polymorph.
getting pretty dire for Quake Lord. He's kind of looking at his life total and understanding, a win could be snuck out here by Dirty Mike if he's not careful.
He's probably going to. My guess is that he just takes the Ice Block to stave off lethal for another turn or two.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah,
like he
he
really
did not find the
has
Luna's
to.
Pocket Galaxy.
I don't know if I would have even taken Luna's Pocket Galaxy if it was offered
Right.
there.
Even if he did, Zephyrus Bloodlust is lethal.
True.
We are going to see the Ziliax come back. So now he just can't clear the Mistress of Mixtures to get that extra health. I think here we just have to see Luna ask Luna Solari. Or never mind. We are going to see the Potion of Illusion.
Yeah, so he knows he has at least one more turn with the Ice Block there, unless Dirty Mike somehow tutors out Flare, the SI Infiltrator. That would destroy a secret.
I think
Really
if
want
he
to
set
see.
himself 4 mana, I think Zephyrus might do that. And we are going to see Luna's Pocket Galaxy and then 1 mana freeze. Now I think this is what Quake Lord needed to make this match competitive again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and getting the Stargazer Luna too. He will draw a lot of cards next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive swing.
Wait, now if he can draw both something like just both Renos,
Mm-hmm.
he's in a really solid spot to start taking back the board, coming back from Dirty Mike's early board swing.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the Loatheb is still in deck for Quake Lord here. So a 1 mana Loatheb that can get bounced multiple times. It sometimes can create a board state that the Warlock can't deal with.
For Luna.
Oh no.
Oh no, that hurts. That really hurts.
Frostless Jaina coming in.
I'm going to be honest. I don't play Reno Mage. I don't really play Reno Mage, but at least just from what I've seen from my opponents and spectating, I really like the list that just tops out at Tortolin and runs Polkelt just to make the LPG swings more consistent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What do you all think about the hero cards?
Yeah,
I like Jaina.
the thing is,
I just kind of like the water elementals.
It's just it was a 1 in 12, and the The Frostlich Jaina itself helps in quite a few slower matchups. It doesn't really help against Warlock necessarily, but it has a lot of utility against things like Priest, Warrior. So sometimes that auto win justifies the inclusion. Here,
Yep, and second card is Flame Ward, so he probably wouldn't have had too much. Really, probably wouldn't have gotten too much out of the Luna regardless.
correct.
Yeah, so he buys a little bit of time with this Jaina.
Now you're going to see that Ticketus getting corrupted.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about the Zephyrs here. I feel like you want to save it.
Honestly, I almost would have played the Zephyrs first to try to get the SI7 Infiltrator and then drop the Dreadlord.
I agree.
Yeah, probably same.
Now here we are. Okay.
Actually, if you played Zephyrs before, it might have only offered lethal options. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
You may be right.
we're gonna see a polymorph here this turn, depending on what DQ Alex pulls.
Ooh.
So we have Evasive Draconid and Dragon Maw Scorcher.
Yeah,
So-
I like the polymorph a lot.
Yeah, just get rid of the Dreadlord.
Mm-hmm.
It means you don't have to deal with any lifesteal demons. And then you can ping away the Zephyrs as well and clear one more minion.
Too, just the Twisting Nether.
Yeah. Yeah, you have Barista in hand.
Wait, no, if you load that...
Oh, no. Well, the idea would be you Barista the following turn, and then you can just Loatheb block.
Sure. Yep, I think that works.
Yeah, looks like we're
Yeah,
not
the
gonna be
Lotheb block
playing.
with the Lotheb Zola Lotheb.
The
Putting your
Lotheb did
opponents.
not come out before the turn went off. That's really unfortunate for Quake Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I think Jerky Mike just...
Twisting Nether. It's like he's gonna drop Doomsayer too.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Quake Lord's he's had quite a bit of time in this matchup. The Ticketus usually at this point burns through the Mage's deck.
Well,
He's only down
I
to
mean,
6 cards.
off the deck in turn.
Mm-hmm.
Solarian Prime coming down. How much else you can really do here? Just hope that
Okay.
something good happens. Cane Blast, Ring Toss. What do we get? Ice Barrier and Netherwind Portal.
So that deep freeze would have been really nice if the Doomsayer hadn't just come down.
I'm kind of interested that he put the Solarian out in the first place, because
The idea is just
I don't
to
know.
get
I feel like
that-
Solarian's kind of like a Yogg, a mini Yogg, and there's not a real reason you needed to do anything to that board.
Amazing Reno to seeing Zephyrs get milled, Zephyrs and Kazakus get milled really feels bad.
Yeah, those were I think most of the more powerful Highlander cards.
And we can't really Lotheb block because next turn we're just going to see the Ticketus kill it. So he instead chooses to Amazing Reno.
Yeah, I think what killed Quakelord this game was roping that turn before you could play
Yeah.
Lotheb. It just
I agree 100%.
and now he's in a position where he gets Lotheb locked himself.
That Reno spell isn't going to help much.
None of these spells do anything either.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess they work through. I mean, they get around the Lotheb, but to what end?
Yeah, Quakelord's really relying on a miracle spell from that hero power. He'd probably need a couple of them too.
He needs cards like Beyond Box into Rebuke plus, say, a bunch of minion generators.
Yeah,
Could go with
I
oh, what's
don't.
the 4-mana rogue spell that adds 10 1-cost cards to your deck?
Oh,
Oh yeah, that one's not too bad.
that would be a good one. That would turn that game really interesting.
It probably wouldn't turn it around, but it would give him at least another couple turns, right?
Interesting.
Yeah, it
Maybe
would.
he gets his own like Ticketus Void Lord.
So this is a cute play here.
It's something. Maybe not going to win the game, but it's a play.
Yeah, he stays alive. I mean,
I think I would have rather seen the Barista come down, because then you can go and play 2 of those the following turn.
Yep.
And playing 2 of them would mean
You
can
get
get a board full of 4/4s. Correct.
4/4, just plus the Lothab.
Right.
yeah, and you want to save the Zola for the double Lothab turn, so...
That's a pretty solid spell at
It
this
is,
stage of the
but
game.
fatigue is still a problem here.
Yep. Oh, yep. That's game.
Unfortunately, yeah. So, Dirty, unless Quake Lord heals, but he doesn't have any taunts either, so...
Is it time for Tree of Life?
How are we getting Tree of Life?
Reno.
I should say, what are the odds of Tree of Life?
How many spells are in Wild?
It's 50-50. Either he gets it or he doesn't.
True.
Fair
Only
enough.
2 outcomes.
Also, I want to say thank you for following Vlahulas. I hope I said that right. So, welcome.
And Dirty Mike takes game 4 over Quake Lord with his Arena Warlock.
Game 5.
Yeah.
Oh, game 5.
Will Quake Lord get the Finley Wizard again?
Yeah, he got it just for the wrong match.
Yeah,
So,
really.
it's going to come down to that, I think. That and whether Frostlich Jaina can carry.
I mean, honestly, if he just gets a Finley Wizard, I think just the cards in his deck carry.
Yeah, no, definitely. If he gets the Finley Wizard, it's very tough for the priest to come back.
Yeah, I like keeping Book for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Mad Scientist keep. It should be okay, in my opinion, but I know some people might consider tossing it.
It's pseudo.
Oh yeah, I would have tossed that.
It'll get the ice block out of deck. So
right, that's the idea with it.
And I mean, we know Quake Lord may need it if he can find Finley Wizard fast enough.
I'm surprised by Dirty Mike's decision to not trade. There was a way to get 2 draws from here. The opt's not to.
Yeah, because he could have opted for the hero power to draw 1 more.
Right, after
past
trading.
the Thalnos draw.
Correct. So now he just loses any chance of that. Goes for the trade now, gets...
Do you see Zeph, which... Will Zeph give Flare here?
I don't think so.
It might.
Okay.
I wouldn't guarantee it.
Yeah.
Usually it gives you Flare SI when you have lethal, and it knows that your opponent has ice block like that, but in this it probably won't.
Okay, I'd like to see our Book of Specters here.
You just don't want the book to discard the ice block here.
I guess you also don't want it to discard LPG if the game goes long.
True.
So I think you have to. But since we haven't seen Polkeltor,
Yeah. He might just ping pass. I was thinking he might coin Jandis here, but he's probably saving coin for the Tortolan.
oh, and Dirty Mike draws the Raza on curve.
We are Raza on 5 gamers, guys.
What about Raza on 4 with Zeph Wild Growth?
No, that means you needed wild growth and you needed to cheat.
Seems like we're not quite that good. Okay, and we see some pretty decently statted minions.
Mistrunner's a new card, right? From Darkman Races?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen that card on the board.
Games with making the bigger minion the temporary.
Yeah, I feel like Mistrunner especially is just overshadowed by Faceless Corruptor. It's just a better card.
Yeah, this is looking like a pretty fortunate pull for Dirty Mike.
Wow. Dirty Mike gets the read.
Yeah, what a swing from Mike here.
I'd like to see Malagos for the upgraded Arcane Intellect. Okay, and now we get draw 4. I think that's what he has to take.
Knowing that next turn you can coin Tortolan, try to get the LPG. The Malagos' Insight drawing 4 cards would synergize very well with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
1 cost potion from Dirty Mike's side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel like you want the card draw here.
And he didn't take it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And 2 mana spawn. Now that is dangerous if he can get Anduin online.
Yeah, the only issue will be Ice Block.
For sure. Which now we know is not, which now Dirty Mike knows is not there. And he coins the Tortolan for, let's see if he gets it.
I believe he does.
LPG. Now, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, with both the book and the Malagos' Insight here, Quicklord will make his way through his deck fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. Which means he will make his way to Finley Wizard pretty soon. I think the one consideration that Quicklord needs to have, one thing Quicklord needs to be thinking about right now, is Elucia.
Right.
Like, just making sure too that he plays around like Elucia and dropping all of his 1 mana cards. So I think he just needs to drop everything the turn he gets it, save for maybe Reno.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about this Zephrys play here. I feel like we should have been holding Zephrys for a bigger swing turn.
Right.
Potentially.
I would have saved it at least until the next turn.
On my side of things as a priest player, like when I have Zeph versus Reno Mage, I'm almost always keeping it for secret to counter secrets.
Correct. That's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Because I mean, you just can't. It's just very difficult to win if, say, they play Reno and then clear your spawn. How else do you have the second? How else do you get that second push?
Definitely. So, Quicklord takes the 5 cost potion, goes for AoE and Polymorph. He had draw available, but I understand with all the draw in hand already.
Okay. Oh, he misses the spawn. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unlucky pull by the Dirty Rat. There's a 50-50 to grab the spawn there. And since Ray's Dead is gone, that would have removed it completely.
I know.
Well, the good news is he has been dumping his hand. So that means he can use his draw engines.
Yep, I like. I'm not sure about Dirty Mike's decision to play the Mass Hysteria, especially with, say, the potential of a big Loatheb swing turn. Okay, and probably Malagos Intellect first.
Yep.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this turn from Quicklord could end the game here.
Ice Block. Oh, we have the Finley Wizard in hand. Now this is...
We are just waiting on Anduin.
I Okay, yep, Lothab Zola. I like this because like just with a 5/5 on board, it could bait Dirty Mike into playing Anduin.
Yeah, this is
Or he
just
can
very strong.
Dirty
So
Mike has Anduin.
as long as Dirty Mike doesn't Elucia before he Anduins, this is Quakelord's game to lose.
I think just Lothab Potion of Illusion, second Lothab, guarantees the win, just with Bloodlust.
Correct. I think you're right.
Yeah, Dirty Mike, he has spells on the one minion, but it can't really address
And
the boards and the Lothab effect that Quakelord's going to put down next turn.
turns like these are why I would have wanted Mass Hysteria.
Absolutely, because that would have dealt with this board and we wouldn't get locked.
Right. I think.
Well, potentially. It could actually still leave the Lothab up a good portion of the time.
We'll see. And I could we instead see Calighost. Or well, he now knows that Dirty Mike doesn't have Anduin, I guess, just based off the.
Yeah, but if the potion doesn't grab back, or no, it's guaranteed to grab back at least one.
Right.
Yeah, fair.
It does it in the order you played them. So the card it wouldn't grab back is the second Lothab.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
And now he's going to probably drop the second Lothab.
He doesn't even have to.
I mean, I kind of like it just extra body for Bloodlust off Zeph.
I like it as well.
Because I think having
I mean, your opponent can't play any minions that would address this board state, right?
And that is going to be game.
A very close series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 games for both of these.
Mm-hmm.
Quakelord ending the game in more ways than one with the board and the Wizard Finley.
And there you have it.
Yeah, Quakelord takes it 3-2 over Dirty Mike.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, with that said, one of us should try to grab Quakelord for a quick interview.
Sure.
All right, I'll message him.
Sounds good.
Yeah, just make sure to add him on Discord, and then you can bring him into the group, and we can add him to the call. Also, I want to say thank you to SethC03. Thank you for following. I'm glad you're enjoying it here.
Wait, I think Seth C is one of the new subs. I can't remember which team.
Yes,
new
patches payback.
So
Yes.
one of the teams, team that Dirty Mike was playing for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I messaged Quakelord on. He says he's down for an interview. He's just adding me at the moment.
Perfect. Just get him in the group, and we'll have the interview.
All right. All right, I think I just added him.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hey,
Yeah, hey.
congratulations on the win. It seemed like a really close series.
Yeah, thanks. That was very close. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the Reno lock could have really gone either way depending on what he milled with his Ticketus.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, definitely.
It
guess
just
in
hit all of the gold cards.
yeah, yeah, that
That's
was
so
pretty
fun.
lucky.
Yeah, well, great job. Was there any concern in getting your mage through? I know it had a hard time in some of the matches.
So for this series, I just I teched pretty hard against Priest, Reno Priest. That's sort of what I targeted. So the only way that he could really beat me with Reno Priest, I thought, was with like Elucia getting rid of the Finley Wizard combo, or getting lots of tempo with like Zeph into Kazakas into just his on curve cards could have also out tempoed me if I drew badly.
Mhm.
But yeah, that didn't happen, and then I locked him out with Lotheb. So
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
really
no.
good play.
The strategy for targeting the Reno worked pretty well, I think, for
oh
this
yeah,
week.
I swept it, so must have.
Yep.
Yeah.
So worked out very well. Congrats on the win. It's a very successful season for you, by the way. That brings you to what, 7-1 now?
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It was my first season. Well, I did one sub last season, so
And
I didn't really know what to expect. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that I'm 7-1 against these top players. Like,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of
mm,
really recognizable names in here.
you're rank 10 legend yourself, so
Oh
certainly
yeah,
not.
Yeah. Speaking of the rank 10 legend thing, um, this is a pretty special month for Wild in terms of high legend. Do you guys want to talk about
yes.
that for a bit?
Yeah, sure. So Team Wildside, one of the larger communities of players within Wild, is putting on another installment of its really successful tournaments between top North America, EU, and Asia players versus players from China. The the past two series I've watched have been really interesting. I can't remember what happened in the first, but the last one went to Hazer from the Americas, and everyone's a winner.
Yeah, I saw
It's
that.
top 1 and top 10 legend players are going to be invited to qualify this month. So I imagine you're hoping to stay there as we close out the month.
Well, yeah, I normally don't really like grinding. Like, I'm normally just top 200, staying with the 11 times bonus. I've done top 10 before, but they didn't really see many point. But there was incentive this month, so yeah, I'm trying to do that. As I
Yes.
Yeah, well,
imagine more
very
than 10
impressive.
people are. So
Yeah, well, best of luck to that. I'm glad we could give a shout out to that. And you've really been proving your worth with both THL and getting top 10. So it shows your strength as a player. Well done.
thanks. I did just want to mention, I don't know if Dirty Mike banned my Paladin because of the Allura nerf. Like, that's a pretty cool thing if he did that. Or if he just thought that was my best deck. But what did you guys think of his ban
Um,
on my Paladin?
Honestly, we
I
were just
mean,
disappointed that we couldn't see you play that Murloc
Oh,
Paladin.
okay.
Yeah,
Ma
yeah.
based on his lineups, honestly,
Hmm.
like he could pretty readily you could pretty readily scam wins against the Reno decks, especially
Yeah,
without
that was the
voice
plan.
calling on his end. I'm just thinking like he saw it as a massive threat to his Reno Priestum lock with just turn
Hmm.
3 or 4 prismatic lens, and then next turn just a massive tip the scales either for lethal or putting him in lethal range.
Yeah, he was probably scared of the combo deck just because there was so much control on his side.
Yeah.
So, with that said, though, again, congrats. Well done.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck on qualifying as well. So, I think that wraps things up for today. So, do you guys have
Mhm.
anything else you want to say?
Well, thanks for having me on. As always, it's a great stream. Happy to cast these games.
Oh, yeah, it's certainly my first time casting. Certainly been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know this week was a little different. We had the 30-minute wild segment early on, and with the wild focus today, it was a bit of a change of pace. So I hope everyone really liked that. I'm glad that we were able to do this, and we'd love your feedback. If you like this, we can keep doing more of it. If not, we can try changing things up. Let us know. So once again, thank you, and we will see you next class.